Hello, and welcome, Acolights. My name is Light Awakener, and, well, welcome to a bit of an unboxing slash pack opening stream. Honestly, I've been looking into this game for the whole last year. So, I mean, not the whole last year. Let me explain. So, about a year ago, I started hearing about Elestrals. A lot of people talking about Elestrals. I didn't really think much of it, but in the past couple of weeks, I decided to actually give it a shot and start learning about the game. Surprisingly, it's actually, like, really fun. Or at least, the mechanics are interesting, the cards are interesting, and I figured now is probably the best time to actually give it a shot and get into the game, because not only is the fourth set, Moonrise, it's coming out in a few days here. I'm pretty sure you can pre-order on the 14th if you subscribe to Shattered Stars, 15th for everyone else. And the online client, Elestrals Clash, is actually coming out on December 1st. Well, if you have alpha access, in which case I do, because I donated to the Kickstarter, because, you know, I'm a slut for cardboard. I love cardboard. I need more cardboard in my life. And you know what? This is probably the best way that I can get a semi-competitive deck right away. So, I kind of want to start doing their online tournaments. Their online tournaments are really easy to access. Really, you just need to sign up every Tuesday. So, odds are I'm going to be doing that from now on, or at least to try and, like, get a leg up. I'll probably stream on Mondays or Saturdays in compensation for that. But in order to get the best bang for my buck, try and get as many staple cards, as many good value cards as I can. I got 5 starter decks, and I got a bunch of packs. So, I have 2 packs, or not 2 packs, 2 starting decks from the base set, which don't come with any additional packs. I have 1 from the second set, which is Frostfall, comes with 3 packs. And I have 2 from the most recent, which is Daybreak, and I have 10 packs. So, I mean, I got 3 from each of these packs, plus I had an extra 4. Not only that, but I also have 9 packs each from Shattered Stars, which is the monthly subscription, and ideally I can pull some really good value, some really good stuff in here. So, hey, without any further ado, I'd say let's get started. So I've been kind of thinking about how to do this. I think I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to start with the one, the only, the Imperial starter deck, because the Imperial starter deck got the banned cards in it. And I mean, literally as soon as you see the card, you'll probably understand why it's banned. So let's start with this one. I'll also, just pointing out, beautiful playmat, the Mastimon, best Digimon in existence, just saying. I already did pre-open a bunch of these just to kind of like make it easier on myself, try to get it all set. Actually, gotta think about it. Let me set that right there. Might as well just keep the box in the shot so you know exactly what we're dealing with here. And it came with a die. There it is. We got a little bit of a spin down die with the thunder on it. Alright, so this is going to be my very first reaction to a lot of these cards, because I kind of know the base staple cards. I know what the absolute best cards. Everything else, don't really know. So I'm going to read off the card, I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and then at the very end, when I unbox everything, I'm going to try and make a deck. I'm going to try and make a deck and we'll see how it is. So, very first card, Imperial. It's the highlight card of the first starting deck, basically the big boss, and don't worry, I'll explain kind of how you play the game after we... Actually, now I think about it, I should probably explain the game beforehand a little bit. So, you start the game with 20 spirits. Basically, it's both your resource system and your life pool. You use every spirit, every card has a play cost, so see how this costs 3. That means it needs 3 spirits underneath it to actually play. But I mean, since in this game it's a little bit like Pokemon, in which case if it has 3 spirits, it has to go into a... So like, see how this has a 1 spirit cost? If it has 2 spirits under it, you can add a third on your turn, and then play Imperial on top of it. Sort of like that, a bit like Pokemon. But you have 20 spirit decks to start. You use your spirits to cast every single card in your deck. pretty much every single card costs something. You need to be able to pay it. You don't actually lose the game if you go to 0 spirits, but if you go to -1 spirits, that's when you lose. So you can still play as much as you have cards on the table if you're at 0. But there are different cards that make you dump mana to your graveyard. You, of course, use them to play your cards. And, you know, bit of an interesting mechanic. I love the fact that your health total is also your resource pool. So first up, Imperial. This Imperial gets +1 attack for each Thunder Spirit in your Spirit deck. You can expend Thunder in order to target and destroy a card. So when it comes into play, it will have 3 spirits. Well, I mean, technically it can have different spirits as long as it has 3, but if it has different spirits than the 3 it displays, it does not get its effect. So, do you have an Ace of Spades? I do not. I do not. Well, I mean, I probably do around here. Pot of Greed! Interestingly enough that you mentioned that, DJ. There's a Pot of Greed in this game. Hold on, let me find it. Nectar of the Gods. There it is. Basically costs 2, draw 2 cards. So, I mean, you're not far off. Although, it's a little bit interesting because people aren't sure if Pot of Greed is good in this game. It's very funny, actually. So basically, you get this out, it becomes huge. It has as much attack as you have spirits in the deck. You can also expend, which means you send from your spirit deck to the graveyard, and then you get to target and destroy a card. This, I've not seen a lot of people play it. I assume there are some ways to get it cheated out, but for the most part, it seems pretty expensive. Doesn't have really a lot of protection, so I think it will die pretty easily. But being able to kill stuff does help a lot. I'm gonna put, let's see, how should I do this? I think I'm gonna put all Elestrals here. I'm gonna sort it by, like, category. So Elestrals here, and then we'll just decide on the other slots as we go on. You've never heard of this card game before? I mean, that's understandable. So Elestrals is pretty new. Came out, I think, last year. And I basically have heard and seen a lot of content creators talk about the game. But, you know, I love me some cardboard. And, you know, this is... that's some good cardboard right there. Alright, so Quackle. So, like, for instance, Quackle, it's a bit like Yu-Gi-Oh! In which you can summon one guy per turn. There are special summons, of course. But, so, in order to play this, you would take a spirit from your spirit deck, you would put it underneath, and then you would play it on your field. So you have 4 slots on your field for both your monsters and for either set cards or spell cards or equip cards or divine cards. Ton of stuff you can have in your back row. So this card says, when you cast this Quackle, you can return up to 3 from your Underworld to your Spirit deck. Your Underworld is your graveyard. So you have used 3 Zaptor for whatever reason. You maybe use them to play Pot of Greed. If you play this card later on, then you can basically heal 3. I'm not sure how good this card is because it's essentially just on cast, and it's a 2/3. So 2/3 is very tiny in this game. Basically, the stat to beat is 5. 5 is like the gold standard of cards. Because, like, I think the best card in the game, Ass Rabbit, which is actually in this deck, has a 5 booty. Hard to get over. Hello, Carter Boy. How are you doing? How many spirits do you have access to in a turn? Pretty much as many as you want to play. You found an Elestrals new. Nice, nice, nice. Is it me? Please tell me it's me. Is it me? Ah, well, who knows. Alright, so they give us 3 Quackle to start out. Basically, you can play as many spirits as you want. So, like, I mean, you can only normal cast 1 per turn, but if you have, like, different things... Hold on, let's get to the spell cards. So, like, if you have 2 or 3 Nectar of the Gods in your hand, you can spend 4 spirits to play both. It doesn't really matter, like, but at the same time, 2 spirits is 10% of your life total. So are you willing to spend 10% of your life total to draw 2 cards? A lot of the time, if you have, it kind of depends. If you have, like, a very spirit-hungry deck, Nectar of the Gods is no good. But if you're playing a really tight, really effective deck that allows you to heal a lot, then it's probably best to play it. Life total? I say life total, but basically the cards you have in your spirit deck is your life total. As soon as you run out of spirits to play, you're dead. Well, as soon as you hit -1 at least. You've been playing since Prototype. Happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm just giving my honest opinions of the cards right now, and at the end of when I open everything, I'm going to try and build my deck. So, once I actually get there, I'll probably ask for your help more. So, let's see. Signetric. I'm butchering that name, whatever. So it's a 2-cost, so for this instance, if you have a 1 Spirit Enchanted Quackle on the field, if it survives a turn, you can attach another one, send Quackle to the Underworld, and play Signetric on top of it. And then, of course, it would activate any effects that it has. So, you can reveal 12 electric spirits from your spirit deck in order to special ascend Signetric to Imperial from your hand or deck. Okay, so this is how they want you to cheat out Imperial over here. I'm not exactly sure, because I mean, 12 is a lot. You're pretty much playing an only electric deck at that point. Plus, if you get this late game, it's kind of useless. You pretty much can never get this to ascend. I assume most people just kind of don't play this one. Because A, it doesn't have a lot of protection, you would need a card to survive a turn in order to get it out, and then you need to have 12 in your spirit deck in order to actually level it up. Can you play a card without using the spirits? No? Yeah, no. Like, there are cards that, like, resurrect from your graveyard, but even if you resurrect from the graveyard, you still need to attach enough spirits so it lives. So, like, say Signetric is in the... You're correct, Imperial has only topped 1 tournament. Hey, nice. Glad to see my card game knowledge is coming in clutch here. So, like, say you use a resurrection card and you bring Signetric from your graveyard, you still need to use 2 spirits from your life total in order to bring it back. Like, it cannot exist on the field with less than the number on it. If it has less than the number on it, it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Because it said Spirit Enchanted card as if you have non-Spirit Enchanted cards. So, like, that's kind of the thing. So, Signetric gets its effect if you have 2 Thunder Spirits on it. That said, if you want, it could have, like, a Fire and Electric Spirit. So if it has a Fire and Electric, it's non-enchanted. But that means that it doesn't get its effect. So that comes up sometimes, especially against, like, water decks, where they have a card called Tsunami, which is a trap card. It changes the position of all of your Elestrals unless it's water enchanted. So some people actually misenchant their cards on purpose in order to avoid cards like that. Just an interesting way to, like, play around, I guess. But yeah, no. Signetric, not a very good card. Toxion. I'm probably going to see... Oh, hold on. Let me drink some water. Whew. Had something stuck in my throat. Does this have an online game? Close, DJ. The online is coming out pretty soon, actually. If you donated to the Elestrals Clash on Kickstarter, I mean, they still have it up, so if you do want to donate $10, you get access to the beta. I paid enough so that I have access to the alpha, so I'm going to be playing starting December 1st. So, it's going to be available on Steam, I believe, and it's going to be pretty easy to access from then on. Plus, Elestrals itself is going to, well, the sellers currently have access to TCG Player. So, soon enough, the cards are going to be readily purchasable on the, on TCG Player. When's the beta? Hey, Cartivoid, do you know when the beta releases? I've only ever paid attention to the alpha because I wanted it as soon as I could possibly play it. Let's see. Toxion. When this Toxion receives 1 or more Thunder, your opponents must expend. So expend means that they have to send a card from their spirit deck into the graveyard, and when it receives 1 or more. So, literally, when you play Toxion, you have to enchant it. If you enchant it with a Thunder, it gets its effect right away, so they have to. You can't get it anyway, though? The Kickstarter is... Really? I thought A-Drive said that, like, it was still accepting $10 donations. That way you could get access to the beta until, I can't remember when he said that was ending. I think he said it on one of his most recent videos, but I'm not sure. So Toxicon is a burn card. Honestly, 4 attack is decent stats. It could probably survive. You will check, but you didn't see that. Yes. Please check, because I don't want to be giving out misinformation on a game that I barely know. So, burn card. I think this card is actually pretty decent. I mean, decent stats. It can probably survive, especially if you have back row. Plus, the next turn, when you enchant it again, if you decide to, it just burns them. One more time. No set date for the beta except end of the year. Okay. Galvenom. You can expend 3 in order to target and destroy up to 2 cards. So that means that you send 3 to the graveyard, target 2 cards, destroy them. Man, I'm not sure how I feel about this card. Because, I mean, it does have 6 stats. That's pretty good. But, I mean, for 2 levels, for second ascension, you'd probably want better stats than that. Plus, 3 is pretty expensive. You know, actually, the more that I look at this card, the more I'm leaning towards it's bad. Because it costs 5 total. So you have 2, and then 3 in order to use its effect. So that's literally a fourth of your life total in order to use its effect. So, I'm gonna go ahead and say Galvenom probably not played whatsoever. Probably, I think people maybe experimented with it at first just to target and destroy cards, but nah, doesn't seem good to me. We do have a free app on the Discord. It's not great, but it's worked for the past 2 years. Yeah, don't they also have like an online client or something? You mean it let me click back, so it probably is. Maybe. Let's see, Ryceros. So, while this Ryceros is enchanted, Elestrals cannot attack the turn they're cast unless they are Thunder enchanted. This it seems bad to me, because, I mean, it basically gives things summoning sickness for a turn. You got the Discord link. I mean, honestly, you could just look up the Elestrals Discord and probably just join off of that. Because I don't think that my chat allows links to be pasted. I'm gonna be real with you. So, I mean, if you do just Google Elestrals Discord, I'm pretty sure it's like the first link in Google. Had to think about what it was called there for a second. But yeah, no, even like playing this out, you play it in defense as a 4 body, it just doesn't seem good. Like, it dies to everything if it's switched to attack, and then it doesn't really have much of an effect besides stalling a turn. Spark it. This is the boy! The banned boy! I'm pretty sure this was the very first card that was banned. So Spark It is a 4/1, you can cast it for 1, you can Nexus 2. So Nexusing in this game, if you have something that has multiple spirits on it, you can move them around how you want. But the toxic part is, when you do, you can look an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. So basically, whole hand knowledge, and also you rip probably their most important card from it. So Spark It, understandably banned. It makes me, like, it sends danger pings to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Brain. My Yu-Gi-Oh! Brain screams when I see this effect. I hate people knowing what's in my hand. I hate people knowing that they could just get rid of my most important combo piece. So, honestly, probably for the best that Spark It was banned. They're releasing a new version of Spark It that discards a card at random, which is way better. I'm honestly gonna set that off to the side because it's banned and I cannot play it. Astrabbit. So, this is also the boy. This has been probably one of the best cards in the entire game. We're coming on 3 sets now. So it's a 2/5. 5 is a big booty. Think of it like 2,000 defense in Yu-Gi-Oh! Really hard to get over for the most part. You play in defense, it just stays there. IRL stream, I know easy. I know. You can see my hands. Oh, look at those. Look at those delicious hands. Don't call my hands delicious, only I can. God. But basically, when Astrabbit receives 1 or more Thunder Spirit, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 of them to your hand. Then shuffle the rest into your deck. The 4th one does come out in a couple of days. The 4th one comes out on the 14th if you're a subscriber to Shattered Stars, 15th for everyone else. But yeah, no. Astrabbit, really fucking good card. It's a good combo, fake Pokemon pack. How dare you say Pokemon packs? Listen, I got Pokemon cards. They're not good cards, but I have Pokemon cards. I have all kinds of cards, even the most important one, Trapinch, the best Pokemon card. Come on. Well, I mean, I say best, but probably just the best art. I love Trapinch. He's such a cute boy. He is the boy. But Astrabbit, pretty much a 3 of in every single deck since the first set. Only in this third set have people started, like, maybe playing decks without it. What's your rarest Pokemon card? Ooh, I don't have a rarest Pokemon card because I don't really play the Pokemon TCG on like IRL at all, so I don't really collect them. I usually just play on the digital client. Magic the Gathering! I do play Magic the Gathering as well! Well, I mean, not so much IRL anymore, but some of the cards I have are stupid expensive, let's be real. But yeah, Astrabbit, probably going to be a 3 of in whatever deck I build. Let's just put these in a pile. Jolton. So it's a 1 mana 4/2. When you normal cast this Jolton, you can search your deck for a stadium and add it to your hand. So stadiums, they're kind of basic right now. Let's see, I have a couple here. Mount Olympus. So it could basically search all stadiums are like this right now. They're probably going to edit the effects in the future, but all of them are pretty much element specific. Elestrals get +1 attack, +1 defense for each lightning enchanting. Why is there blood on the table? There's no blood on the table. That's the art. It's the art. I am explaining the cards. Come on. So Jolton, it fetches the field spell. Field spells are mostly like old Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can only have 1 on the field at any given time. If your opponent has a field spell out and you play a field spell, you get rid of theirs. So that's why Jolton is so important, because by default, if you're running him, you're running a field spell, and then just by playing Jolton, playing the field spell, it's going to be a 5 attack, 3 defense. So it pretty much gets over whatever your opponent might have, unless they have a 5 booty, like Astrabbit, and it gets rid of their stadiums if they're playing it. Just say how much they're worth and keep gambling. I don't know how much they're worth. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, this is a starting deck, so odds are it's probably not too expensive. Boom Bat. It's a 1 mana 2/1. You can disenchant 1 from this Boom Bat in order to target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. So... Exiled Force? Yeah, in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Exiled Force. Basically comes out on the field with 1. You can decide to immediately pop it. It kills the Boom Bat, but it kills an opponent's Elestral as well. I don't know, it's negative tempo, which doesn't seem like it would be pretty good. Any cards worth anything are the full art and the stellar cards. Yeah, so odds are, well, I mean, I don't say odds are, but if I'm going to be pulling any sort of like the super valuable cards, they would probably be in the packs themselves. I mean, some of the starting decks do have a chance for a stellar, but it's a very, very low chance. Basically, like the stellar cards, the way they work is there are 99 printed of them in existence. So just by virtue of existing, they are very, very sought after, very valuable. But Boom Bat itself, I mean, they did limit Resting on Your Laurels, and they did limit Earthquake to 1 copy each. Those were like the premier removal spells. So Boom Bat, while it's not great, I could see a lot of people like side decking it to just get rid of problematic cards that they wouldn't have been able to remove otherwise. Let's see. Spy Nymph. It's a 1 Earth, 1/5. When the Spy Nymph is destroyed in battle, you can cast it from your underworld as an artifact empowering the Elestral that destroyed it. With the effect, the Empower Elestral has 0 base attack. Okay, so it costs an Earth to play it. It's destroyed, gets sent to the graveyard. You have to put another Earth on it, and then it makes whatever destroys its attack 0. But the thing is, your opponent can basically choose what kills it. So Spy Nymph does not seem great to me. Basically, your opponent will kill it with like a two attack thing, basically dare you to burn yourself to equip this to something. So I don't think Spy Nymph is that good. Let's see. Stellars are serialized at X out of 99 or X out of 10, or in the newer sets you can get a non-serialized reverse stellar but don't see those... Wait, but those are still worth roughly 100... Whoa! The reverse stellars are still worth $100. Ooh! I mean, hey, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll pull something cracked. Let's see. 1 mana fire, 3/1. You can target an opponent's Elestrals and give it -4 attack until the end phase. See, I actually kind of like Warmite better than Boombat, or at least if you're playing a fire deck, because it can get over anything that has 7 or less attack. But at the same time, the next turn it's just going to die by whatever your opponent summons, because odds are they have something that has more than 3 attack. So, removal in an emergency, I suppose. Cool hand scars. Now you got me, like, looking at my hands. I have scars? Well, I mean, I have, like, a couple. Not too many, though. So what's the best card? I mean, one of the best cards in the game, well, I mean, in terms of actual Elestrals, would be Astrabbit right now, just because it's a very good setup card. Gets you the cards that you need from your deck, lets you set up, and when it receives 1 Thunder, it activates effect. So both on summon, and if you're able to get another Thunder to you in any sort of like capacity. So it's not once per turn. So you can, as long as you can get extra Thunders to Astrabbit, you can use it as many times in a turn as you want. Yeah, there isn't really a mascot. Well, I mean, if there is a mascot, I would kind of say it's Astrabbit, just because a lot of people love that card. That brings us to Pot of Greed, actually. So, 10% of your life to draw 2 cards. So if you have a good way to put cards back into your spirit deck from the graveyard, I'd say a lot of people would play this. If you're playing a deck that's really spirit hungry and just choose through it using your Elestrals, probably avoid Nectar of the Gods. Alright, I'm going to put my spells down here. Ambrosia. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to try out Elestrals, because it's a healing card. Like, look at that. It's 1 mana to return 3 spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. So basically it gives 2 back total to your deck. But in most games, healing spells are trash. You would never play like Don Quito in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, ah, sweet, 1,000 life points. Not gonna use that ever again. But Ambrosia, it literally lets you play more of the game. Like, literally, by playing it, you can play something that costs 2. Like, by playing Ambrosia, you can play a free Nectar of the Gods. Ambrosia is a 1 life, 1 mana for 2 life. Yeah, no, like, Ambrosia is crazy. It's a 3 of in every single deck. Because, you know, just being able to play the game more is always solid. So that's definitely... I'm gonna put any cards that I'm definitely... Well, actually, now I think about it. I think I'm gonna put any cards that I'm definitely... probably going to play off to the side. So Astrabbit, Ambrosia for sure. And I'll put any maybe cards like right below. So let's see. Circle the Sky. 1 mana. I believe this is a Invoke rune, so this means that I play it like I would play a spell card. Like you wouldn't be able to like set it and then activate it whenever you want. So 1 mana, Nexus up to 2. If you do, draw a card. How long is the song? I have it set to loop, so I think it's ordinarily like 3 minutes, 30 seconds, but it's gonna loop. It's gonna loop a lot. I'm not sure what to feel about this card. I mean, drawing cards is really good. Like, if you're playing in a Thunder deck and you have a Zeus on the field, you can Nexus from your Zeus to your Astrabbit, draw a card, look at the top 3. I think this is kind of like a niche. You need a specific deck for this card, I would think. Can you play the outro song soon? It's my favorite. I mean, I suppose I could. Not great in most people's opinion. Yeah, no, I mean, I think you would need like a really specific deck in order to take advantage of it. So Zeus. This is the first example of a divine rune that we have. This is kind of like a continuous spell on the field. So when you cast Zeus, you can enchant up to 3 Thunder Spirits to it. So basically it comes out into the field with 1, and then 3 more, if you want, up to 3. So total, it can have 4, just chilling on it at any given time. You have to go, alright, talk to you later, DJ. Most people play the trap/counter version. Ooh, there's a trap version? I mean, I think if I see it, I'd probably know what it looks like. You can disenchant one Thunder from the Zeus in order to target an opponent's Elestral and give it -3/-3 until the end phase. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. So it acts as a Nexus Bank, so you can hold a bunch of spirits on this card. You can Nexus from it, so like Circle the Sky, for instance. If you play this, your Zeus will have 4 spirits. You can Circle the Sky, it'll take 2 spirits from the Zeus and put them onto something else. The second effect, I do think it would come up, but I think most people just would want this as just a placeholder to hold spirits. But it's definitely good that you have the option to get over stuff. You won't see it in the starter decks or Daybreak packs. Oh! Will I see it in the Shattered Stars? Because I have the 2 most recent sets of Shattered Stars. I don't know if it's in there or not. Because it's no, it's not. What is it called? Do you know what it's called, Cartboy? Are you ever gonna play Persona? Yes. If I eventually get like an entire week off to myself, I'm probably just going to play several 8-hour streams of Persona. No, I don't believe so. Ah, well, that's unfortunate. Well, looks like I'm not going to be playing that one. But yeah, no. Zeus, pretty damn good card. Mount Olympus, we already talked about the, what's it called? Arena? No. Wait, is this technically an arena card? Field spell. It's a field spell. So, all of them are pretty basic, but it's very important to, I mean, I assume it's usually important to play at least one in your deck. That way, if your opponent plays some and they're buffing the hell out of their guys, you can get rid of it. Because I think the only other way to get rid of it is to do, like, suboptimal plays, something that you don't ordinarily want to do. Alright, let's see. Thunderbolt of Zeus. Altar of Stars is the name of the card. Oh, Circle the Sky, Altar of Stars. Okay, yeah, no, they're pretty good. Thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine? Goated movie. It's solid, 10 out of 10, love it. That NSYNC song is now just permanently tied to Deadpool in my mind. I hear it, and I just picture Deadpool dancing to it now. Thunderbolt of Zeus. 2 spirits. The Empowered Elestral gets +2 attack. When the Empowered Elestral destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, that opponent must expend 1. If Zeus is enchanted, that opponent must expend 2 instead. Seems pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of like the attach cards are pretty expensive. I mean, if you do need to, I guess you could use the trap that gets this out on the field, but even then, it's still burning you for 2. You have to kill something to even get an effect off of it. Sometimes you don't even get that, because if they counter what you have, they just die. Is this Power Word cards? No, Brawlkid. This is Elestrals, which, I mean, I guess you could say that the art is vaguely Power World-like, but you know what? As long as the game is fun, I'm totally down to play anything. But yeah, no, I think Thunderbolt of Zeus is just too... You need too much setup for it. And odds are, whatever you attach it to is just going to die before it gets too many of its effects off. Because, like, it requires a Zeus to be on the field if you want it to expend 2. It needs to kill something in order to even just do 1. So in order to even net even on this, you have to kill 2 things with it. So I don't think Thunderbolt of Zeus is very good at all. Thunderstorm. 2 mana... Target and destroy a rune. MST? 10% of your life for an NST, though. You are correct yet again. Hey, I'm nailing it. I'm nailing it. I don't know. Seems a bit like if this was 1 mana, I think everyone would be playing it. 2 mana, though? That seems pretty expensive to target and destroy a rune. I mean, any face down on the field is potentially, like... I don't know. I think some people play Thunderstorm just because I think we're in a rune-heavy meta right now, at least until Hurricane comes out in the next set. There is a wind card that does the same thing with Bounce instead of Destroy. Oh, what? How much does that one cost? Is it 1? If it's 1, it's way better than Thunderstorm. Because just the ability to get rid of your opponent's stuff, even though you know it's coming back. One, yeah, no, I think that would be way better than Thunderstorm. Even though it comes back, you know for a fact that you can stick whatever card you're trying to get on the field at once. Thunderstorm, though, seems really... It does see play, though? Okay. It does seem really expensive, but I suppose if there's not really many ways to destroy runes, then you would want to have that. Let me put that right here. Earthquake! This is the other... Well, I mean, it's not banned, but it's limited. So you can only have one card of this in your entire deck. So basically, 2 Earth Spirits, target and destroy an Elestral. Really simple, really to the point. I'm pretty sure most decks run 2 Earth in their Spirit deck just to play this card. Because, I mean, it's removal. Removal is at a premium right now, and it's cracked. Unfortunately, I cannot play 2 in my deck. If I could, I would. So let's put that off to the, at least one off to the side, because I'm probably going to play it. Let's see. Shield of Achilles. This is a trap card, so you have to, just like Yu-Gi-Oh!, you have to set it down, and then on your opponent's turn, or your turn, I suppose, once its conditions are met, you can flip it face up. Or I guess this one is only on your opponent's turn. So, Shield of Achilles can only be cast after an opponent's Elestral declares an attack. So when something is attacking your guys or your face, expend spirits equal to the Elestral's enchantment cost in order to negate that attack and return the Elestral to their hand. So, I don't know, I think this is a pretty damn good 200 subs face reveal. No, I refuse, Dino. I mean, listen, I might have a face reveal eventually, but I'm a blue-haired anime boy. Why would I do that? Why would I be real when I can be anime? Come on now. Yeah, no, this seems like a pretty good card. This seems like it would really suck, though, if they had, like, a 3 enchanted guy on the field, because that means you're essentially playing 4 to get rid of it. But on the same time, your opponent had a lot of resources attached to that, and getting rid of it does seem pretty good. I don't think you would ever run... It does seem really expensive, though, so I don't think you would run this card at 3. You'd probably just run it at 2 and then play it when you see it. I mean, hey, this deck comes with 2 as well, so let's just put that over there. Whoop. You are correct, Easy. At 200 subs, I'm go... Wait, you're not really... What are you... Having an existential crisis over here. My real hands and my anime face. They're really giving, like, you a disjointed opinion right now. Last card in this starting deck, and then we move on to the next one. Pandora's Box. 2 mana, trap card. This Pandora's Box can only be cast when an opponent activates an effect that searches or casts a card from their deck. Negate that effect, and the opponent must send the top 2 cards from their deck to the underworld. So it's a mill card. This is basically like Ash Blossom, but it also mills. So, I mean, if your opponent is really relying on the effect to... If they really, really need something out. But I don't know, 2 mana seems way too expensive for an Ash. I mean, mill... I don't think this game is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Just yet, where the Underworld is like a second hand. So I don't think Pandora's Box is that great. I mean, I could be wrong, but like, I think Pandora's Box would be a side deck card exclusively, if you're even playing it. That card is bad. Yeah, no, it doesn't really seem that great. I think in the future, if there are like combo-heavy decks, then I think Pandora's Box could see play. Just like play it on a super important search piece or a super important summon piece that your opponent plays. But yeah, no, I don't see this seeing play anytime soon. So I'm gonna move all this stuff over. Let's see, where should I put it? My desk is so full of stuff. My Pokemon cards, my Pokemon stack. Alright, let's put arena cards right there, attachment cards right there, trap cards, invoke cards, divine runes, and Elestrals. Alright. So, I mean, they banned the only thing keeping turbo combo decks alive. Oh, Drataya. Drataya was a 1-mana Earth card. Whenever a player played Ambrosia, draw 2 cards. So it basically enabled people to dig through their entire deck, which, like, was, you know, insane. Pretty unhealthy. So, I mean, I guess, next question, guys, should I open another starting deck, or should I open some packs? Should I, like, mix it up, like, throw some packs in between every deck? Because we do have a lot of decks to open. We have 4 more starting decks, and we have a bunch of packs. Packs! Okay, let's see. These cards I do want to play. Spark It, you can just stay in this corner where you're banned for all eternity. You got through 35 cards in 1 turn? Wait, hold on. Aren't the decks in Elestrals 40? So you essentially go through your entire deck in 1 turn. That's insane. Starting packs are for beginners. Did I stutter? So, we got a couple to choose from. So I have... I kind of do want to space this out, though, because, like I said, we have 4 starting decks. We have 9 packs of Shattered Stars Scorpio, 9 packs of the Celebrations, 10 packs of Daybreak, which is the most recent set, and 3 packs of Frostfall. So what do you guys are thinking? I'm gonna say we open, like, either... Because it's hard to say, right? Because I probably want to space them out in between every deck. So what do you guys think? Frostfall? Just open the 3 Frostfall packs for now? Sorry, easy. Listen. I'll do a bit of each, right? Let's do 2 each of the Shattered Stars, and also the 3 Frostfall. Alright, let's start with the Frostfall. Oh my. Let's see. What is the best way to open these packs? Is there like, is there a trick like some other card games? Damn it. Or does it like tear? Oh, you know what? Tearing works so much better. The top you can rip. Yes. I did that so awfully. I did this so awfully. Okay, let's try this. Damn you, cardboard! I am your master! Let's see. So, Flurry Mine. Frostfall introduced a new elemental type. So, there are 6 elemental types in the game. There's Fire, Earth, Water, Air, Lunar, and Solar. And this introduced... Wait. I didn't say Frost. 7. There are 7 in the game. Wait, 8! Wait. Am I stupid? Hold on. There's the 4 elements. There's Lunar, Solar, Frost. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting, Cartboy? What's the 8th one? Lunar, Solar, Earth, Thunder! Oh my god, I literally opened Thunder. I literally opened Thunder and I immediately forgot about it. Alright, so Flurmine, it's a spirit just like those Thunder Spirits were, but you play this in a Frost deck. So let's see. Comagma. 1 mana, 4/2, so decent stats. When Comagma receives 1 or more fire, you can draw a card, discard a card. So it's hand fixing. You basically play this out, draw a card, discard a card. I don't know. Seems alright. It seems a little weak though, especially since most stuff will probably just kill it. Next up, Penguat. So Penguat is also, we have the Emperor Watt starting deck over there, so we're going to open a bunch of these ones. So 2 mana, or I guess 1 Frost, 1 Thunder, 5/7. So pretty beefy boy. Put it in defense. Right. Disclaimer. Wait, disclaimer for what? Disclaimer for who? During your draw phase, you can disenchant Frost or Thunder from your field in order to special ascend this Penguat into Emperor Watt from your hand or deck. Okay. There are mix animals. Do not freak out if you get a full Stellar Emperor Watt. Oh yeah, no, trust me. I am holding these cards as if they are a precious child. I do not treat cards lightly, even if I'm stunned or shocked. Those are error Watson, not wrong at all. Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, like, there are different Elestrals with multi-enchantments. So there are different spirits that go together, there are different decks that work together, so there are, like Cartboy said, there are 8 different types of spirits, and you could play any number of spirits in any combination of your deck. Of course, if you want to be the most consistent as possible, you usually keep it to 3 or below, or maybe like 4 if you're only like Earthquake. Like, you would only put 2 Earth spirits in your deck, specifically to play Earthquake. It seems like it has too much setup in order to be useful, because you need to have something on your field already that you can disenchant. You can't just put this out on the field and then immediately ascend it into Emperor Watt. I feel like that's kind of... I feel like this game kind of does get the Pokemon treatment, where the middle evolutions are usually not the best. I feel like the 1 costs are definitely like the playmakers. Let's see. Permafrog. Oh, look at the boy. He's cold and he's holding a bubble. That's adorable. So 2 mana, 1/3. That's terrible. That's awful. Oh my god. Elestrals can't attack unless they're Frost Enchanted or Fire Enchanted. During your opponent's end phase, you must either expend 1 or destroy Permafrog. This is awful. This is, like, really ass. Because, like, it requires you both... It costs 2 to play it, then at the end of the turn, you have to keep spending to keep it on the field. And then 2 of the 8, if they're enchanted with it, even if they just have those in their deck, they can misenchant and then attack anyway. So yeah, no, this seems really bad. Morfrost. I think that, like, this is an entire deck type on its own. There are a bunch of Morfrost cards, and they each have different forms, and they, like, all kind of work together. Never heard of this game? I mean, this game came out, like, in the past year, so it's pretty new. They're only on their 3rd set. The 4th set is coming out in a couple of days, so it's definitely going to be a lot more interesting from now on, I'd say. So, Morfrost in this form, 1 spirit, 2/1. When you cast Morfrost, you can expend 1 in order to search your deck for up to 2 Morfrost and send them to your underworld. When this Morfrost is destroyed in battle, you can target and destroy a face-down rune. It's been out for almost 3 years? Okay, never mind, I am wrong. I don't know why, it just didn't seem like it's been out that long. I mean, it does, wait, 3 years, that's insane. Because didn't they say that they wanted to release a new expansion every, like, 4 months? And they're only on the 4th one? That's crazy. Is there an avatar card with lunar, solar, fire? No. There is currently no card that has more than 4. Or, they don't have any that are more than 3. The most expensive card currently is 3. So I'm not sure if they're ever going to have more expensive ones in the future. They probably will. The first 1.5 years was just base set over and over. I mean, that makes sense. You have to make sure you have enough product to actually get it out in the field. This doesn't seem good unless Morfrost as a whole is good, because searching 2 Morfrost cards seems pretty great. Sending them to the underworld, I'm not sure how much Morfrost wants to be in the grave. I assume it's a graveyard-focused deck, but I don't think it's going to be too great. Dratagwa! The boy! I know he's going to be in a couple of the other starting decks that we have. When Dratagwa receives 1 or more water, return 2 water from your underworld to the spirit deck. So it's a nice little heal. Literally, once it comes out, it returns 2 to your spirit deck. So, like, if you played, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it went. If you played the Pot of Greed card, not Nectar of the Gods, spend 2, draw 2, then you played Dratagwa, you get those 2 immediately back in your spirit deck. So, you know, nice heal card. I like that. I like Dratagwa. He's a cute little dude. Platypulse. 1 mana, 1/1, Bad stats. Elestrals that are not lightning enchanted get -1 attack for each enchanting thunder on the field. Effects of Elestrals named Platypulse cannot reduce an Elestral's attack by more than 4 total. This seems real bad. I don't know why you would ever play it. Like, if you have a Zeus on your field, I guess it makes things -4. But, like, why not just play something with 5 attack? That pretty much has the exact same... It's the exact same as subtracting everything by 4. Plus, it just runs into stuff. Like, it would, like, crash, more than likely. Abominursa, a bear card. Okay, so 1 mana, 3/1. Abominursa gets +2 attack for each other bear on your field. So if you can swarm the field with bears, seems like this would be pretty good. I mean, easy. Listen, man, you can't call out our lurkers like that. You always try to do this. Listen, we probably got Power in the background, we probably got Space Lord in the background. They're chilling. Let them have the other screen on, you know? You know? We love our lurkers in chat. Cryoling. 1 mana, 1/3. Cryoling gets +1 attack for each frost in your underworld. When this Cryoling has 6 or more attack, during your main phase, you must either destroy it or special ascend to Cryovern from your hand or deck. I mean, I suppose I would need to know what Cryovern is, but just baseline, it seems pretty good, I'd say. You are the Wanderer. Hello, Odie. How are you? I'm sorry that he called you out like this. You can lurk if you want. Don't feel obligated to type that. Because yeah, I mean, you just play a couple of spells, this immediately gets like 3, 4, 5 attack. It's meh. Oh, sad. Here I was thinking like a buff card could be pretty decent. Well, I mean, it would have to be playing in a primarily Frost deck anyway. You're going AFK again? You do that, Odie. You do it. Volcanic Forge. Okay, so this is the fire field spell. Elestrals get +1 attack, +1 shield for every fire. My thoughts on KSI? Bleh. I think that pretty much sums it up. Because, like, the man is not smart. If he was smart, I think he would do a lot of stuff different. He does not. He just does not think. Actually, I have scissors. I'm not even going to try to, like, tear anymore. I'm just going to use the scissors. There we go. Alright, clean off the top. Let's reach in. Second Frostfall. We got a Zaptor. Hold on. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, they do give us different arts for Zaptor, for, like, the spirits. Is it, do they give you a different, like, flavor of spirit for every single, every expansion? Do they each have different arts? Because that's pretty dope, actually. Thick of It? Is Thick of It the song he made? I literally have not heard it, but I've heard that it really sucks. Ooh. Ooh. Kinda shiny. Let's see. 1 mana, 4/1. Mustation gets +2 for each earth enchanting it, so by default it's a 6/1. During your end phase, you must change Mustation to defense if it attacked this turn. Okay, so it's basically Goblin Attack Force. Comes out with huge attack, can get over any one thing, and then it's super vulnerable once it actually does get changed to defense. Yeah, no, like, this seems pretty damn good. You can even just do Goblin Attack Force things and just leave it in attack position. Literally only attack when you need to. New art every set, but same card mechanically. Nice. Let's see. Oh, Cryovern! This is the one it ascends into. So 2 mana, 7/4. During the draw phase, you can discard your hand in order to special send Cryovern to Cryoscorch. Again, I would have to see what Cryoscorch is, but that doesn't seem too good. That's just negative card value. I mean, sure, it has a big attack, but, like, I don't think it's worth it to discard your hand. I would never want to discard my hand. My hand is my life! So, yeah, no, I'm not going to be playing Cryovern. We already saw a Penguat. We already saw a Permafrog. Cockatoodle! Oh my god, look at that fat cock! I'm sorry. So 1 wind, 4/2, so kind of average stats. When you cast this Cockatoodle, you can target an opponent's Elestral. That Elestral is suppressed as long as Cockatoodle is enchanted. Okay, so suppression is... basically it negates their effects if they have a continuous effect. But you can't do this in, like, response to something and have it, like, still negate it. You can get banned for that? No, I can't. Look! It says it in the name! What are you gonna do? Ban me for showing this on stream? Nah. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, Easy. Come on now. You gotta think. Babloon. 1 mana, 1/2. Seems garbage. Water Enchanted Elestrals get +2 attack, +2 defense. So at minimum, this is a 1 mana, 3/4. Yeah, no, that still seems pretty bad. I suppose if you, like, swarm multiple of these on the field, it can get up to big numbers, but no, it seems like way too much setup to actually get going. Cyan Nectar. It's an insect. 1 earth, 2/1. When a player casts Poison Tipped Arrow, Poison Nectar, or Poison Tunic, you can special this Cyan Nectar to Waspayuvi. Okay, I mean, it has a lot. I think people are really only playing Poison Tipped Arrow, though. Not only that, but if they play Poison Tipped Arrow on Cyan Nectar, doesn't this just die? Broken before banning. Ah! I'm assuming it was part of, like, the really high, like, the burn deck. Morfrost. Oh, another Morfrost card. You can expend Frost and discard Morfrost in order to search your deck for 2 Morfrost that are not like and add them to your hand. Again, depends on how good the Morfrost deck is, but I mean, it seems like it has a lot of search. It was part of the Draw 35 with Drataya. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ursicle. So another bear. 1 mana, 1/3. When you cast Ursicle, you can search your deck for a bear or rune. Does that mean there are bear runes? And add it to your hand. So, I mean, I guess there's a bear archetype. I mean, the stats aren't too great, so I suppose the bear would have to be pretty dang good in order to actually, like, do something with it. Hold on, I just gotta, like... That's that. I should probably sort these into, like, what colors they are. But, you know, I could do that when I'm finished. Ursa's Cave is one of the stadiums that isn't the +1/+1 stuff. Oh, there is actually, like, other stadiums that do stuff? That's nice. Or is that, like, the only one? Alright, whoop. Not even gonna risk it. Let's move all the cards down. Thank you. Scissors, never mind. I did not actually cut it open. Okay. There are like 5? Oh. 5 that do stuff other than the +1/+1 stuff? Another Flurmine, so if I want, I can play something that costs 2 Frost now. Emperor Watt. Oh, well, we got another one in case we do want to play Emperor Watt. So, 3 mana, so you need to ascend it on something with 2, or special ascend it out somehow. 11/9, pretty strong. When you cast this Emperor Watt, you can Nexus all of your enchanting spirits to it, so it basically gloms everything from the field onto itself. You can disenchant 3 in any combination of Frost or Thunder from Emperor Watt in order to destroy each card on an opponent's field. That... I don't know. It seems like you need to have a lot of stuff on the field in order to even get this going. Unless you just want it to kill itself to clear the enemy board, but that doesn't really seem too great. I don't know, but wiping the opponent's board is like the pipe dream. I'm not sure how good it is, though. I wouldn't expect too great, especially in like the current set. Tower of the Winds. 1 mana Invoke Rune, so you just play it like a spell card. Nexus Wind and a Wind... Nexus Wind to a Wind Enchanted Elestral. If you do, you can special ascend it to an Elestral from your hand. Oh, this seems really good. Like, if you... Not meta per se, but still good. Ah, hey, sure, I'll take it. Tower of the Wind seems crazy, though. So, like, you play a 1-cost wind on the field, and then you play, like, Aeolus, which is the wind Elestral. Play Tower of the Winds, move the wind to your wind, and then you get to get a 2-cost wind Elestral on your very first turn. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that seems really good. Sandstorm. 1 wind, 1 earth. For each Elestral that's not Earth Enchanted, return it to its owner's hand if it's in defense position. Otherwise, change it to defense position. During the end phase, those Elestrals cannot change position. Oh, until the end phase, they cannot. I don't know. This seems like a very corner case card. I don't think it's very good. Because isn't Earth like one of the best decks right now? Earth is one of the best decks, so most decks you're going to face are going to be Earth Enchanted, so that means Sandstorm just does not do anything. Plus, it requires your opponent's stuff to be in defense just baseline in order to do stuff. Not since the bannings! Oh no. Another Cryovern, Cyanectar, Morfrost, Ursicle, Island of Aeolia. This is the Wind Stadium card. So Elestrals get +1/+1 for each wind on them. Full Forest. Oh, and this is the Earth one. Okay, so we got 2 stadiums at the very end. Put those with these stadiums over here. Get all of these in their correct piles. Where's that pile? No, forgot this one. Piles! Okay. 5-6 guys are top in your opinion, which uses 5 and 6 attack 1-costers to beat down. I mean, that does sound pretty good. Alright, so let's see. We got 4 packs, Shattered Stars. This is the most recent month. This is October. I'd say we do 1 and 1. Because these come with common cards in them. I think it comes with 6 guaranteed commons, and then a chance to get like a really high value like holo. Plus, it has a chance to have a these have chances to get like the astral versions of the card, right? I'm pretty sure those are in these packs. So let's see. Necruff. Oh yeah, you could tell it's Halloween inspired. Look at the little puppy with the pumpkin. Adorable. So 1 mana, 5/1. That's crazy. Can just hit over most stuff. When Necruff destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, that opponent must burn one. Yeah, no, Necruff seems pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I like Necruff. He's a cute little boy. Blazerus, which is a 2-headed dog, literally the one that is supposed to ascend off that, I assume. 2 mana, 7/2, so good. These are both good beaters. Blazerus can attack twice during your battle phase. When Blazerus destroys a second Elestral in the same battle phase, you can special ascend Blazerus to Trifernal. Okay, so it basically hits a bunch of stuff. If it hits twice, ascend it. Twindra. It's a 2 mana wind, 5/4. When Twindra is destroyed in battle, you could special cast a Penterror from your hand or deck in attack position. I think Penterror was one of like the chase cards, or like not the chase cards, one of the better cards in the first set. I'm not sure how good it is anymore. Plus it has to be destroyed in battle, so people know what you're doing with this card if it's on the field. They'll probably bounce it to your hand or like get rid of it some other way than actually destroy it by battle. Polzer. 1 mana, 2/2, so not great. This Polzer gets +1 attack for each Frost Elestral in your Underworld. This effect cannot increase Polzer's attack by more than +5 total. So if you're doing like that, like the Morfrost deck, and you have this in your card, you basically get a bunch of cards in your graveyard. This becomes a 7/2 for 1 mana. I mean, that's pretty good, but I don't really like setup. Setup, it requires too much. It requires too much to actually do stuff. Nebuleo. It's our first solar card. So 1 mana, 2/1. This Nebuleo gets +1 attack for each enchanting solar on the field, so by default it's a 3/1. You can foretell 4 and add any number of Nebuleo, Leo Bright, Celestleo, and or First Light foretold this way to your hand. How does foretelling work? I assume it's a bit like scrying in Magic, except maybe it just goes back to the top of the deck. So you look at the top 4, rearrange them if you don't so you scry, but do you put them on the bottom of the deck if you don't want them, or do they stay on the top? Do you get to edit the order that they go in? This is basically it searches for what it ascends into, I'm guessing. Gloombat. Oh. You think Scry has to be on top? Okay. So I'm assuming you can put it in any order, but this basically just tries to search out what it goes into and then just murders itself. Or not murders itself, but, anything that you don't find just goes to the top of your deck. Gloombat. Okay, so this is the dark version of the Boombat that we had earlier. So 1 mana, 2/1. Gloombat can be special cast from your hand with Lunar if an opponent has at least 2 face-down runes. You can disenchant Lunar from this Gloombat in order to target and destroy a rune. So this, you have to go for a bit, lurk someone, ping me in chat if they need me. Don't worry, Boy. Don't worry. If I need you, I'll ping you. So this seems just wholly better than Boombat because 1 mana comes out in the field, but it can be special cast if they have 2 face down, kills itself to remove a rune from the field. Plus, if it's special cast, I assume you can also use your normal summon to enchant it again, and disenchant 2 to get rid of the 2 on the field. Seems pretty good. Ooh, look at that! The Hollow! Helios's Chariot Ride. So it's a counter trap, so it's a trap card. Helios's Chariot Ride can only be cast during the draw phase. Opponents cannot cast runes this turn. So it's it's Cold Wave. So basically, you draw for turn, you decide you want something to live or you need something to be on your field, cast Helios's Chariot Ride, you're guaranteed to get your stuff on the field. It's your time to go. Alright, talk to you later, Easy. Hope you have a good night. That's shiny up out there. And Illuminate. So that's the Solar Spirit. This has the nice old Pokemon what's that, watercolor art? Looks really nice. Let's open another one, and then we'll move on to Scorpio, and then we'll go back to the starting decks. God, it always makes me nervous using these scissors because I don't want to accidentally cut any of the cards, but I suck at opening packs! Why do I suck so bad at opening packs? Okay, so it comes guaranteed. Hold on, I should probably put these in a specific order. Because it comes with the 6 guaranteed commons, I believe. So, we got Nekruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo, Gloombat. Ooh, look at this! Posthumous. That is a Shattered Glass Shiny. I mean, it's really hard to tell with the lights. Hold on. Let me, dim them a little bit so you can actually see. Because, it's basically just not a shattered glass, a stained glass moose. But oh my god, this looks so pretty. So let me turn this back up a little bit. So it's a 3-cost, 13/11. When your Artemis suppresses a card, you can target and destroy that card. While Artemis is enchanted, this Posthumous is unaffected by counter runes. Okay, yeah, no, that seems pretty good, because Artemis is a divine rune. It will have, usually have 4 on it, and Artemis's effect is it can expend, or it can remove 1 to suppress something. So Artemis suppresses a card, you can destroy it with Posthumous, so that way if it has any graveyard effects, it just completely negates it, totally. And while your Artemis has stuff on it, Posthumous can't be dealt with. Seems pretty good. And then a Leviathan. Little Finizen. Alright, I'm going to put all of my Shattered Stars stuff off to the left. Let's just whoop. There we go. Alright. My other 2. I'm going to put all of the shiny cards over there. Shiny card Posthumous. Alright. Shattered Stars Scorpio. This is the most recent one, so the month of November is when this came out. Let's look and see what our 6 commons are. Gal Venom, 2 mana, 6/2, expend 2 to destroy up to expend 3 to destroy up to 2 cards. Like I said, probably way too expensive of an effect to actually get going, because 5, which is like a fourth of your life total to destroy 2 does not seem too great. But good art. I really like the art on that. Funglow. Thunder Enchanted Elestrals get +1. When a player casts Thunderstorm, you can special cast a Bronto Glow from your hand or deck. I would have to know what Bronto Glow is. This doesn't really seem too great. Well, like, because like if you have Thunderstorm in your hand, you play Funglow, play Thunderstorm, kill an enemy rune, then ascend this immediately into Bronto Glow. But that doesn't seem too great. Unless I know what Bronto Glow is. Unless Bronto Glow is like crazy. Platypulse. This is the one that subtracts strength, but it cannot subtract the strength from more than 4. But I do like the art. Little platypus boy. Larvacell. 1 mana, 3/1. You can Nexus either a Thunder or a Solar. When Larvacell receives 1 or more Solar, special ascend it to Anocell from your hand or deck. I don't know what Anocell is. Titanostrike. 1 mana, 2/4. When a player casts Thunderstorm, you can expend 1 to target and destroy an Elestral. That's way better. I mean, I assume if you're playing a bunch of Thunderstorms, you would probably play Titanostrike, just so you have more removal. Because it basically turns Thunderstorm into destroy a rune, destroy a Elestral on the field. And that seems like it could be pretty good. It has to be like a certain kind of way, though. And then we got a reverse hollow Platypulse. And we got a Thunderbolt of Zeus, except shiny this time. Doesn't really seem too great. Oh my god, look at this card! The Zaptor, but the stained glass! I don't know why. The stained glass of all these cards just looks so beautiful to me. I mean, especially the Posthumous. The Posthumous seemed really good. Well, let me move this light a little bit, just so it's slightly less glaring. Let's see which way is probably better. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it like that. I mean, it really hasn't changed much, but... Alright. Next pack. Did I actually open that? I don't know if I actually opened that. I did not. There we go. Ooh. Ah, my scissors! They're down. Okay, so we got another Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, and Titanostrike. Alright, we got a shiny Funglow. We got a shiny Raise to the Top. So it's a spell card. Has 2 Elestrals running to the top of Mount Olympus. Raise to the Top can only be cast if Mount Olympus is enchanted. Target 2 Elestrals and destroy the Elestral with the least defense. I mean, if you're playing the field spell, you would always play this card. Seems pretty good. And we got another Zaptor. Alright. So let's put all of these Shattered Stars together. Thunderbolt of Zeus I'm pretty much never going to play, but I will put it with the shiny pile. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on to another starter pack. This is the other one from the base set. Okay, come on. Close. It's hard to do this with one hand. It's the Majesty deck. So I'm just going to go through this a little faster because, oh my god, it took me like an hour to get through those packs and then like the very first deck. So, Majesty. 3 water, 6/14, so a huge ass. Oh my god, its ass is fat. Majesty gets +1 attack for each enchanting water on your field, so at the very least it's a 9/14, so a bit of a decent attack. Water enchanted Elestrals cannot be targeted by opponents' Elestral effects. So I mean, it is good because it gives some protection, but it does not prevent them from using a rune to just ruin your day and get rid of them. Sluggle. 1 mana 2/2, so bad stats. When you cast Sluggle, you can return up to 3 from your Underworld to your Spirit deck. Okay, so you don't even care that it only costs 1. You care that it heals 3 from your Underworld. So I mean, lets you stay in the game, lets you do other stuff. Not very impactful though, unless you have something to protect it. Let's see, they gave us 3 of those. Globby, which is the 2. You can Special Ascend Globby to Majesty from your hand or deck if it's 3 enchanted. So basically, you get it out on 2, your next turn comes around, you can attach another water to it, it immediately goes into Majesty. I think it's a little too slow because you have to rely on it being out in the field and then rely on it living for a turn. Whoop, okay. Whoop. Smoltuga. Smoltuga is a 1 mana 2/5, so it's a decent sized booty. It's going to be able to live most likely. When you normal cast Smoltuga, you can search your deck from Elestral with enchantment cost Fire and add it to your hand. I know a lot of people, I think the combo that I usually saw for this was, let me find it. People would play Smoltuga, and even if they're not playing many fire cards, they would play Nekruff. So Smoltuga in like a water deck fetches you Nekruff. Nekruff gets you advantage, and plus it's 5 attack, so 5 attack gets to run over most stuff. And I can see why people play that, just because it's really easy to do. I mean, Smoltuga itself, I guess it depends on how many good fire enchanted cards there are, but even Nekruff by itself seems pretty damn good. Alright, so let's Smoltuga. Krakatuga, so this is the one you're supposed to evolve into. 1 water, 1 fire, 4/9. You can expend 2 to force an opponent to expend 3. When a player casts Eruption, you can target and destroy a card. So, if you want to use its effect, you basically use 4, make them expend 3, and then every turn, so it would literally take you 2 turns of doing that in order to go net even for this card. It doesn't seem too good. I don't know how good Eruption is, but I mean, it turns Eruption into a Destroy, or into a Pop. I mean, I guess that could be pretty decent. I'm not sure, though. Foamy! So it's a 1 mana 2/3. When Foamy is destroyed in battle, you can special cast an Elestral with enchantment cost 1 from your deck in defense position. This seems pretty good. Don't get me wrong, I thought if it could summon something for 1 from your hand, I don't think it would be too good. But from your deck is a different story. I'm assuming there are going to be a ton of Elestrals that are able to both live or that have a fat butt, that are able to live 1 turn, lets you get it back to your turn, lets you ascend into something that costs 2. Yeah, no, I could see this being pretty good. Plus, if your opponent has a ton of stuff on the field, you go Foamy, into Foamy. I mean, I don't have a third one, but into Foamy, and then you could... It's basically like Mystic Tomato. It's really hard to just get rid of it once and for all, unless they just, don't destroy it by battle. Aphros, 1 mana 2/4. Nexus 2, when you do, draw a card for each water that a card received this way. Okay. This seems alright. It seems like a good way to get through your deck, but it requires setup. You know me, I'm going to be saying that a lot. It requires setup, and I don't think any setup cards are too good normally. So if you have a Poseidon on your field, and you have a water card on your field, you play Aphros in defense most likely, Nexus 2 to the card, you draw 2, and then you just kind of stop. That's kind of it. Oistress. 1 mana 1/3. Oistress gets +1 defense for each enchanting water on the field. So it's a 1 mana 1/4 by default. Doesn't seem too great. I'm gonna be honest. There's way better stuff that you could be playing for 1. For instance, my boy Edward, the boy Eddie. It's a 4. I think it's a 4/2, but it changes the position of an Elestral. So it's premium removal. So I don't see why you would ever play something like Oistress over Eddie. Moustachion. 1 mana 1/6. You can expend water to swap Moustachion's attack with its defense until the end phase. This effect can also be activated when an opponent normal casts an Elestral. Okay, so technically it's a 2-mana 6/1. I think in a pinch it could be good for removal. Also, your opponent would be hard-pressed to get rid of it on their turn, because when they normal something, you can make this into a 6/1. I mean, you don't have to, so like, if you know they're probably going to special ascend a big dude, you would just keep this as a 1/6 and let it die. Galaxy. 1 mana, 2/5. While this Galaxy is enchanted, swap each water enchanted Elestral's attack with its defense. Okay, so when this comes out, it's just a 5/2. Decent stats. Plus, it'll turn all of your other weenies into big dudes, so Moustachian will just be a 6/1 by default. You don't need to expend to activate its effect. I think that's kind of like why Oystress is in this deck. It's supposed to be paired with Galaxy. You get a really big defense, it becomes a really high attacker. But it's just too much setup. That said, Galaxy on its own, pretty good card. I think you would run it if you run a water deck. War Might, we've already been over that boy. It's basically just worse removal. Peliquarius. 1 wind, 3/4. When you normal cast this Peliquarius, you can search your deck for an Elestral with an enchantment cost water and add it to your hand. Okay, so this, you would pretty much play this in any water deck, search for any one card that you need, get off to the races by playing that card. And we got a couple of Nectar of the Gods, we got Ambrosia, another Circle the Sky, Poseidon, look at that man's, got them abs and everything. So it's a 1 mana Divine. When you cast this Poseidon, you can enchant up to 3 to it, so it comes into 4. You can Nexus 1 from this Poseidon. It's not a very strong effect. You can basically just make sure your water enchanted Elestrals get 1 more. Plus on your second turn, you can Nexus this and then immediately go into a 3 cost. Seems like it could work, but also I think a lot of people would just use this to hold water spirits. Atlantis, okay, so that's the water field spell. Trident of Poseidon, so 2 mana to equip. The Empowered Elestral gets +2 attack and cannot be targeted by counter runes. While Poseidon is enchanted, opponents cannot cast counter runes. See, that seems a lot more impactful than the Zeus one. Because at the very least, it gets 2 attack and then can't be targeted by counter runes. That said, I'm pretty sure if you have Poseidon now, people are going to know you run Trident, so they're probably just going to pop their counter runes early to get rid of whatever you have. But I mean, if you have Trident and Poseidon, they can't cast counter runes, so you're just kind of off to the races. And you just kind of have to hope that your Elestral survives. Seems like it could be good in the right deck. Tsunami. This is a very fantastic trap card that a lot of people play around, unfortunately. 1 mana, change all Elestrals to defense position unless they're water enchanted. So basically lets you survive an attack, lets you attack something that has a big booty but small attack, or vice versa. It's a very flexible card. But like I said, a lot of people are running water... A lot of people run water enchantments in their side deck, or not in their side deck, in their spirit deck, so they can misenchant their own Elestrals to prevent Tsunami from going off. That said, still a fantastic card, because it warps the way that other people have to play in order to play around it. Eruption. Okay, so this is the card that Krakatuga was talking about. 2 mana, an opponent must expend 3. If they control Fire Enchanted Elestral, they must expend 1 instead. Okay, so it's a burn card. So 2 mana, burn them for 3. If you have the Krakatuga on the field, they expend more, and they have to destroy something else. So you would essentially run Eruption in a specific burn deck. Interesting. Tornado. Okay, and this is the one that that Cartboy was talking about. So one wind, target opponent's ruined, return it to their hand. So, I mean, like, can that affect Divine Runes? I mean, it's called Rune. Divine Rune. So, I mean, if you target a Divine Rune that has 4 on it, you essentially get rid of 4 of their spirits. That seems pretty good. I think you would run this in any wind deck. Basically just let you play cards for a turn. Alright, then we got another Shield of Achilles. We got more Shield of Achilles. Whoop. Let's put that in my... Where's my traps? Traps. And then we got even more spirits. So we got a lot more water spirits, we got some fire spirits, and we have some wind spirits. Alright. So let's move all of these over. These are all of my invokes. These are the attachments. Traps. Where are the traps? Where are the traps? Divine. And we have the actual Elestrals. And Atlantis. There it is. Okay. I say we open some Daybreak, and we open a bit more Shattered Stars. I mean, we already know what the 6 cards are in Shattered Stars, but there's a chance we could get one of those Astral cards, which is really high rarity, really expensive cards. Hopefully, we manage to do any of those. So let's start. I don't know. I don't know which is more like high rolly, which is better to open. I think since we haven't seen any Daybreak yet, we should start with the Shattered Stars, because we kind of just know what to expect in them. And then if we pull anything crazy, I mean, we pull something crazy. Whoop. Yeah, man. Open up. Open sesame. Alright. So you know the drill. Necruff, Lazarus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo. Alright, let's see what our first one is. Ooh, Circle the Sky. I mean, he said it's a very like niche card, but this art is delicious. Oh my god, look at that. I mean, it's a 1-mana spell card, Nexus 2, draw a card. So I can't play it in every deck, but some decks really like this effect, and if I'm going to play it, I'm going to play this one. And we have a Vipyro, which is just a nice, oh god, I love the art on those ones. Right, let's go for another one. What? Tijera's, gotta get my scissors. What? Alright, Necruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo. Let's see what we got. Trifernal. Okay, so this is the one that comes after Blazerus. This is what it summons. It's a 3-mana, 14/3. The happy boys are going trick-or-treating. That's so adorable. When an opponent casts an Elestral, you can expend 1 in order to give it -3 defense until the end next phase. If the Elestral's defense is reduced to 0 by the effect, it's destroyed. Ooh, okay, and you can expand. So pretty much, if your opponent is summoning something, you know it has 3 defense. This basically turns into Slifer the Sky Dragon, right? Where you just destroy whatever they summon and then hit them in the face for a ton. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent card, all things considered. Let's get all of these together. Put them in the pile, in the side pile. Oh, nope, I put those on top of the wrong one. Do not mix up the cards. It's going to be impossible to find them later if I do. Alright. Scorpio time. Gotta say, using scissors, way easier than trying to tear these open. So I don't know what it is, but recently I feel like I've just not been able to open packs of any card game that well. Alright, so let's see. Galvenom, Funglow, Platypus, Platypulse, Larvacell, Titanostrike, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did it just come with the second Titanostrike? I mean, it is like a reverse, which is really good art. I really like that. Let's see. Mount Olympus! Oh my god, that art is so good. I mean, it's only like a field spell, but if I'm playing Thunder, I'm playing Mount Olympus. Oh my god. Play Mount Olympus, play Race to the Top, and I mean, we even got the shiny version of that. God, look at that art. It's just so good. Oh, that looks so good. I love that. Alright, whoop. Last Shattered Stars, then we move on to the Daybreak packs. Come on. Open. Open, 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 open. Alright, so we got Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, Titanostrike, a second Galvenom. Oh, and we got the second Mount Olympus. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be... I mean, I don't think I would ever play 3 Mount Olympus, but 2, really good. That way I can just play the full art and be happy. I could be happy with that. I don't know, so far it looks like I'm leaning towards a Thunder deck. I guess it depends on the rest of my pulls, though. So let's move all of those off to the side. Alright, now we got 3 packs of Daybreak. Let's see what we got. Whoop. First one. Thank you, Scissors. You are my friend and my companion, and I would never do anything to harm you as long as you cut properly and don't harm any of my cards. Although technically that's a me problem and not the Scissor problem. Mudlet. 1 mana Earth, 3/3. When Mudlet receives 1 or more Earth, you can change the position of an Elestral. So this is like, it's like Eddie Light, where it basically can remove something, usually. Because most things, I think we've seen, most things have like either high attack or high defense. So if it's one or the other, Mudlet can come in and then just kind of kill it. So, pretty decent. Boltuga, the Earth version of Krakatuga. When you normal cast Boltuga, you can expend Earth in order to search your deck or Underworld for an eruption and add it to your hand. Okay, so this is all of the Tugas are part of a burn strategy, from what I'm getting. Barabib, 1 mana, 1/1, terrible stats. When you cast an Invoke rune with Earth, your opponent must expend. This effect can be activated up to 4 times in a turn. When you cast Mudslide, you can special ascend this Barabib to Barabog from your hand or deck. So I don't know what Mudslide is, and I don't know what Barabog is, so that's kind of hard to evaluate. Fungide, 1 mana, 1/1, fire. Your Elestrals cannot be attacked except for Fungide, so it has Taunt on it. When a player casts Follow the Wisps, you can special cast a Bronto-Wisp from your hand or deck. So I guess that depends on how good Bronto-Wisp is. I mean, Fungicide itself is not great. It's a 1 mana, 1/1 that just has Taunt. Rumacol, 1 mana fire, 2/2. When you normal cast Rumacol, you could search your deck for a Stadium or Stoke the Forge and add it to your hand. I think Stoke the Forge adds any equipment card to your hand. This Rumacol gets +1 attack for each fire enchanting it as long as Volcanic Forge is enchanted. So it's just a 2/2 unless you fetch Volcanic Forge. Is Volcanic Forge the fire? Hold on. I think we pulled a fire rune. I need to check and see if that is Volcanic Forge. Not rune. Okay, it is. It's the field spell. So it can search the field spell. So it's basically just a worse Jolton. Humburst. It's a 1 fire, 1 solar, 4/3, so that's bad stats for a second Ascension. You can disenchant fire solar from Humburst to force an opponent to send the top 6 cards from their deck to the Underworld. So it's a mill card. Not only is it a mill card, but I think it's a bad mill card because it kills itself unless you somehow get another fire and a solar onto it, which I don't think is a very common thing to happen. Porcutide. 1 mana, 1/4. When Porcutide is destroyed by battle, by an opponent, they must either discard a card or expend 2. So it's like a mini painful choice. They expend 2 or discard a card. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? It disincentivizes the opponent from attacking Porcutide. But I don't think that's enough of a oh my god, I can't speak. I cannot think of words! It's not enough of a downside for them not to attack. Anocel. So this is the one that evolves off of the bug that we got from the other one. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some water. Sorry about that, I was dying. I've been talking for so long. Alright, Anocel, it's a second ascension, 4/4. Expend 2 solar in order to special ascend Anocel to Phosphocell from your hand or deck. When you cast a rune with solar, you can enchant lightning from your underworld to this Anocel. Again, a lot of these are hard to evaluate without seeing the third form, but it doesn't seem too great. Because expend 2, so it basically costs 4 in order to get to the new one, then you're spending 3 more to put in that new one. That's already like 2, 4, 6, 7. It already costs 7 in order to like get that out, and that's like most of your life. I don't think you would play Anocel. Ooh, Cypremol. It's a 1 mana 4/1. When you cast Cypremol, you can search your deck for a golden fleece and cast it, empowering Cypremol. Spirits from your spirit deck and our underworld can be used to cast that golden fleece. Okay, so it gets an equipment out, and the equipment allows itself to come in for free, essentially, as long as you've had spirits in the graveyard. And we have a Teratlus, which is our first, not our first, but it's an earth spirit. Let's put the shiny pile. Alright. Wait, did I have... All of these were Elestrals, right? Yes. Gotta make sure I'm getting the piles right for when I actually have to build my deck. Which I might not do on stream, just because apparently it's taking me a very long time to actually look at all of these cards. So I might just go and make like a short after the fact and kind of like give my thoughts on deck building and actually make one. So Birabib, we saw, Fungide, Rumacole, Humburst. Okay, so this is the first version of the mill card. 1 mana, 2/2, 1 mana, 1/2. When a player casts a rune, an opponent must send the top 2 cards of their deck to the underworld. This effect can be activated up to 4 times in 1 turn. So it really incentivizes your opponent to just summon something with any amount of attack and just run over this instead of using runes. And even then, it doesn't prevent them from setting runes. So this just does not seem like it does enough. Seems like a very bad card. My boy, the man's. It's Edward Eddie. 1 mana, 4/1. When you cast Eddie, you can change the position of an Elestral. That effect, already super great because it basically guarantees Eddie gets rid of something. Second effect, when a player casts Rock in a Hard Place, you can special ascend Eddie to Curubis from your hand or deck, which is the second form. I kind of forget what Curubis does, but honestly, even just playing Eddie for the first effect, pretty dang good. I love Eddie. Eddie is, honestly, it's definitely a good enough card to just almost always play it. Ruminous. 2 mana, 7/4. When Ruminous deals damage to an opponent, they must send the top 3 cards from their deck to the underworld for each spirit they expended. Wait, what? When Ruminous deals damage to an opponent, they must send the top 3 cards from their deck to the underworld for each spirit they expended. What does that mean? Like, this turn or like total? I imagine you have to like pair this up with cards that force your opponent to expend. So like Eruption makes them expend 3, then they would have to send the top 3 cards multiple times? I don't know, I feel like this card is worded very weirdly. I mean, either way, it's a mill card. I don't think mill is going to be too good of a deck. Soulstalks. 2 solar, 4/7, so big booty. When you special cast this Soul Stalks, you can enchant up to 2 solar from your underworld to your field. You can disenchant 1 from your Apollo in order to target and destroy a card. I mean, pretty decent, because it just has inborn removal if you have an Apollo on your field. Then again, you do have to have something on your field in order to get this out and actually start using that effect. So it requires a little bit of setup, but honestly, not too much to make it unplayable. Pheramel. 1 solar, 1 lunar, 4/7. When an opponent's Elestral declares an attack, you can expend lunar in order to negate that attack, special ascend this Pheramel to Feralgeist from your hand or deck. This is very telegraphed. I don't really know what Feralgeist does itself. It's one of the starting decks that I have over there, so we'll be able to see what it does eventually. But this card itself does not seem too good just because it's too telegraphed. Like, no opponent is going to run into Pheramel if you have it on the field. Like, they're just going to use some other form of removal to get it off of the field. That way they don't have to worry about you special ascending. Oh my god, we're just getting so many Circle the Skies. This game really wants me to Nexus and draw. And we got the 4th kind of Zaptor. Alright, last pack, or at least for this run, last pack of Daybreak, and then we're gonna be opening the Emperor Watt starter deck. Let's move these over to my Elestral pile. Alright, Temple of the Sun, Stadium, just for solar. Guardian of the Fleece. So it's a trap card. Guardian of the Fleece can only be cast when an opponent activates a card effect that targets an artifact or empowered Elestral on your field. I assume empowered Elestral is something that has an artifact on it. Negate the effect, destroy a card on that opponent's field. Okay, I mean, it requires you to play the Golden Fleece. I'm not sure how good the Golden Fleece just is baseline. Plus, it seems kind of expensive just for, like, a protection spell. We did see that other card that fetches Golden Fleece, but it was only a 4/1, and I don't think that's good enough to play just to fetch Golden Fleece. Bloom. It's a trap card. 1 Earth to Nexus an Earth. If you do, you can enchant Earth to an Elestral on your field. So, wait. So this basically costs 1 to move 1, and then I can take a spirit and enchant 1. So basically, costs 1 to get 2 onto one of your creatures. I don't see the use of this card. I mean, it could be good for hitting your opponent for a bunch. Just like a surprise, there's an extra 2 damage for you. I don't think it's too great, though. Don't Poke the Bear! Oh, this must be the bear, one of the bear cards. So it's a 1 fire trap card. Don't Poke the Bear can only be cast during the battle phase. Target a bear Elestral, give it +4/+4 until the end phase. Oh, that explains why all of the bear cards have been weenies. I mean, even if it's just 3 attack, it becomes a 7 attack. That's pretty good. I mean, you can literally only play it with bears, but I guess it depends on how many other bears we got. I mean, I don't really have too many. Follow the Wisps. Okay, this was paired with the Fungicide. Fungitide? Whatever that card was. So it's a 1 fire counter rune. Target an Elestral on the field. Your other Elestrals cannot be attacked this turn as long as that Elestral is enchanted. So it basically gives something taunt. This is really weird, because that card already had taunt, but it wants you to play this card, which gives another card taunt in order to ascend into its next form. I don't think that's good. I mean, taunt is okay, but I don't think this card is... I don't think it's impactful enough to actually do stuff. Nomadial. Okay, we have a Chronodial deck somewhere around here. We're going to see this card a lot more. It's a solar and a water, 5/6, so decent stats. You can expend solar water in order to enchant solar water from the underworld to your field. special ascend this Nomodile into Chronodile from your hand or deck. So I need to spend 2, I essentially need to have 2 to get it out, spend 2 to enchant from the graveyard. So I'm not sure if this works the way I think it does. Maybe you can expend those 2 and then use those 2 to enchant Nomodile, special ascend out the Chronodile. Wait, are all of these? Wait, this pack didn't have any Elestrals except that one so far. Oh, Leo Bright. So 2 mana, 7/5. You can foretell 4, so look at the top 4, move them in any order. You can special ascend Leo Bright to a Celeste Leo foretold this way. Interesting. Ruminous. Don't know how Ruminous works. I mean, I'm not going to be milling my opponent, so I'm not going to play that. Dense Fog. This is actually a really good counter rune. So it's a trap card, 1 lunar, suppress each Elestral that's not lunar enchanted until the end phase. So if they're suppressed, their active effects don't work anymore. So it's not going to prevent you. So like, if your opponent casts an Elestral and they activate its effect, Dense Fog will not prevent that effect from going off. But if it's like an Astrabbit on the field, after it does its first search, you can play Dense Fog, and then even if they attach something to Astrabbit, the Astrabbit is not going to get its effect off. So that's also a really good card. And then another Flurmine. Okay. All playable cards going in that pile. I'm pretty sure I've missed some, but I'm doing my best. Doing my best to get through this in at least a semi-timely manner for reading every single card and trying to parse together. Alright, let's see. Let's do, since I have 3 more decks left. Let's go in chronological order. So let's go with the Emperor Watt starting deck. That is this one. Oh my god, I totally forgot. In the Majesty deck, they give us a little water spin down die, which always, always appreciated. I love me some spin down die. Emperor Watt gives us a Frost one, which honestly, I really love the colors of this. So of any of them, I think I'd probably most likely use that one. So let's get this opened. Oh yeah, the sound of plastic. Best sound. Alright, Emperor Watt. We already kind of saw what it did, so from what Cartboy said, it's kind of an average card, but it is still playable. So even if we just managed to get Emperor Watt on the field, disenchant 3, blow up the opponent's field. So, decent. And then these are the cards that go into it. Snow Waddle, 1 mana, 2/4. When you normal cast Snow Waddle, you can search your deck for an Elestral with enchantment cost Frost Thunder and add it to your hand. So it basically just searches. I'm not sure how many Frost Thunders there are. I'm assuming the main one it searches is just the one it goes into. So 3 of those. Yep, because it goes into Penguin, which is you could disenchant from your field in order to special ascend it into Emperor Watt. But of course, it requires you to have something else on your field, so normal cast this, search for Penguin, hope it lives. Next turn, have something else on your field, enchant, play Penguin on top, disenchant from your other card, special ascend to Emperor Watt. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Frigid Cup. So, 1 mana, 4/2. You can Nexus 2 Frost. When you do, you can enchant Frost from your underworld to Frigid Cup. Okay, so this basically is just an enabler. It lets you move around your spirits however you want to move them around. And it also gets you some value by using spirits from the underworld to attach to it. So that way, if you do Nexus your first turn, you can go into a 3-cost Frost or 3-cost whatever if this manages to survive. Decent card, decent card. Chillalotl. Oh my god, I love to Chillalotl. Look at this man's. So cute. 1 mana, 2/3. When you cast this Chillalotl, you can target up to 2 face-down runes. As long as Chillalotl is enchanted, those runes can't be cast. So it's Zing Zeng Hu from Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, it requires your opponent to already have 2 face-down runes, and it requires them not to do anything about it if you summon Chillowaddle. Not only that, but Chillowaddle is a 2/3, so it's probably just going to die. Because, like, your opponent summons any creature, and it just runs over Chillowaddle. So unfortunately, not too great. Riceros, I believe we already saw this card in the other starting deck. Yep. So it's different art though, I appreciate that. But basically it gives everything summoning sickness. Not too great. Oh, and this is the Ascended form. So it's a it's a Thunder and a Frost, 4/6. You can expend Frost in order to target and special ascend Riceros to this Riceridge from your hand. Oh, okay. So you have Riceros out on the field. You don't even care about its effect. You expend a Frost from your Spirit deck. Immediately get this out onto the field. When Elestral that it's not Thunder Enchanted declares an attack, you can expend Thunder to negate that attack. Still not a great effect. It basically just has negate attack, which I mean, and you're still burning yourself to negate that attack. Not sure how relevant that is. We got ourselves more Ass Rabbit, so that's our third copy. Gonna put that over there because we're probably gonna be playing 3. Some more Boom Bats. You know what? I'm gonna put some Boom Bats off to the side because they're probably good for a side deck. Elechick. So 1 Thunder, 4/1. When you normal cast Elechick, you can search your deck for a Divine Rune and add it to your hand. Okay, so this is basically an auto inclusion in any deck if you're playing a Divine Rune. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I'm going to put that over there as a maybe card. Sorlet. 1 mana, 5/1. You can expend a wind in order to change the position of an Elestral unless it's wind enchanted. Okay, so this is basically another version of Eddy, except it's wind flavored, but it does cost 2 in order to use its effect. Which, I mean, definitely a lot worse, but I mean, 5 attack, just baseline, can get over a lot of stuff, so that's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I mean, like, these are maybe cards. I mean, these are cards I'm definitely going to play. These are cards that I might play. I think that's, like, the best way to do it. P-Gust. 1 wind, 2/3. When P-Gust receives one or more wind, you can target and destroy a rune. Okay, so just by coming out, it immediately destroys an opponent's rune on the field, and I don't think most of the time your opponent would want to, like, activate one of their counter runes in order to stop that effect from going off. So I think P-Gust is pretty good, honestly, because it's such a wimp that your opponent doesn't want to waste their rune on it. Plus, I mean, you could probably get it to survive for a turn by using your counter runes of your own. But yeah, no, just rune removal. It's decent. I should probably put 2 Nectar of the Gods in, like, the side. Did I put 3 Ambrosia in here already? I only have 1. Pop. Pop. Damn. 3. Alright, let's see. Resting on Your Laurels. This is another card that was limited to 1 copy. So, 1 mana. Resting on Your Laurels can only be cast if an opponent has at least 2 or more enchanting spirits than you do, so you literally just play this when you don't have any spirits and they have 2. Target and destroy that opponent's Elestral with the least number of enchanting spirits. So I mean, it is removal. I wonder what happens if they're tied though. So if they just have 2 1 costs on their field, whoop, do you get to choose which one is destroyed? I mean, either way, this is like a really powerful card. It's limited for a reason, so I'm definitely going to put that into the definitely play. And we have the Frost Divine. So, 1 mana. When you cast Keone, you can enchant up to 3 to it. You can disenchant Frost from the Keone in order to return a 1 Spirit Frost from your Underworld to your hand. So it's recursion. It can... I mean, this is definitely a different effect than we've seen on the other Divines. It basically just keeps allowing you to play the game. Just keep getting 1 cost backs, let you cycle them, lets you get that like Frigid Cup back, lets you do other stuff. Actually, I have not been separating these out, have I? I'm pretty sure these are all... Okay, yeah, those are all Elestrals. So Keone, pretty decent card. Then we got the Frost version of their field spell. Scepter of Keon, so this is their attachment. 2 mana. The Empowered Elestral gets +2 attack, +1 defense. When Keon is enchanted and the Empowered Elestral destroys an Elestral in battle, you can special cast a 1 spirit from your hand. Average, I'd say. Because both you have to play this, you have to have well, I mean, obviously you're going to have an Elestral on the field, but it needs to kill something, and then you just get a 1 spirit from your hand onto the field. And I mean, once you attack, your turn ends, so there's no second main phase, so it's really hard to, like, capitalize on this card, because as soon as that 1 spirit comes out onto the field, it's your opponent's turn. Then we got some Thunderstorms. We already had a couple of those. Let's see, these are spells. Tornado, which is the bounce. Divine Blessing. It's a trap card. Divine Blessing can only be cast when an opponent activates an invoke rune. Disenchant 1 from your field in order to negate that rune. So when your opponent plays a spell card, if you have anything on the field, so like a Keon with 4 under it, you can disenchant 1, negate the effect of their spell. I mean, that seems like it's alright, but again, it requires you to have stuff on the field in order to actually make this effect active. So I mean, just seems okay. Do I have a trap card pile? I do not. Trap card's over there. Wait. I was about to say, it seems like I have too many piles here. Shield of Achilles, we already know what that does. Really strong. And we got the spirits. So we got Frost, we got more Thunder, and we got some Winds. Alright. All of my spirits going together. Probably going to sort them out later at some point. Okay. So now we gotta put all of these away. These, the spells. Nope, those aren't spells. Which ones are these? Spells. Spells, yes. The Elestrals themselves. Divine. And Trap. Alright, let's see. I don't know, I think that's a pretty good system that we had before, so let's move this back up inside. Wait, is there anything else in here? Nope, it's just the guide booklet on how to play. Okay. Had to make sure I was not missing out on anything that was in there. So let's go 3 Daybreak, 2 of each. Alright, so let's save the Daybreak for afterwards. Start on the old Shattered Stars. Alright. Let's see if we could get any of the super rare cards. Alright. Necruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo. Alright, let's see what it is. Gloombat. Another Circle of the Sky. You know, still beautiful art. We do have quite a bit of them now, though. My shiny pile... Where did my shiny pile go? Oh, it's over here. Let me put this back. Alright. Let's open my other one. Let's see if I can get any of the high values. I need the high value Acolights. It's gonna weigh on me. It's gonna weigh on me so much. Okay. Necruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo. We got another Stained Glass Posthumous. So, Posthumous, still beautiful art. I think I might very well try a lunar deck once Moonrise comes out, just because they have a ton of, like, interesting cards in that set. Plus a lot that go with Posthumous as well, because this is like kind of the early access to Posthumous, and then its official release is in Moonrise. Alright, let's get all of those. Whoop. Next for the Toxeon. I still really want the Constellation version of that Toxeon. That's just it's such a good art. I mean, honestly, this game just has really good art in general, so I'm really grateful for that. One of the things about card games, in order to get into the game itself, you have to like the art. It's pretty much like one of the main reasons why I stopped playing Magic the Gathering. I don't know why. I really like the mechanics of Magic the Gathering, but the art never called to me. The art was just kind of like, yep, it's there. It exists. And I don't know why. I have no idea. Alright. Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, Titanostrike, Shiny Galvenom. Oh, there he is! There he is! Toxeon! The Stellar! Not the Stellar, the Constellation! Oh, God, it looks so good! And then another stained glass Zaptor. Alright. Nope, not yet. Wait. Where's the second one? Did I grab a second one? Was that the second one? No. Maybe? Oh. It was sitting on top of one of the starting decks. I was just like, I'm not going crazy. I knew I grabbed 2 packs. I just had no idea where I put the second one. Right. That piece. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, Titanostrike, Shiny Funglow. Ooh my, we got the Acolights. So the Lith cards are usually catch-up cards. So Acolights can be normal cast with 2, so literally, even though it costs 2 and you would normally have to ascend it over a card, you can normal cast it if an opponent has at least 2 Elestrals in attack position. That seems like a pretty easy requirement. So that they have 2 things out, play Acolights, bam. When you cast Acolights, you can enchant up to 3 from your underworld to your field. So it lets you, like, not only does it let you get a free body on the field, that's pretty decent power, 6/4, but it also lets you recover some things from your graveyard onto your field. I don't know, the more of these cards I'm opening, the more I'm thinking, like, a Thunder deck is definitely the way to go. Now let's open Strike going over there. Let's open some more Daybreak packs. 1, 3. Then we have the Chronodile, and we have the Pharaohgeist. I think I might open Chronodile, Pharaohgeist, and then just end the stream on the rest of the pack openings, because I have 4 Daybreak and 3 each of the Shattered Stars. Whew. Okay. So, Mudlet, basically discount Eddie. Boltuga fetches an Eruption back. Barabib, don't know what its evolution is. Fungide, Taunt 1/1, doesn't seem too good. Rumacole, I kind of forgot what it... Right, it lets you search for a Stadium or Stoke the Forge. The Pheramel, we're going to see more of that in the starting deck. Barabog, okay, so this is what the little guy goes into. So when you cast an Invoke rune with Earth, your opponents must expend 1. You can deactivate it up to 4 times. When you cast Mudslide, you can special ascend Barabib to Barabog. So I have not gotten Mudslide, but what does Barabog do? So 1 Earth, 1 Water. When an opponent casts a card without Water or Earth, they must expend 1. So it's kind of like a burn card, but it just sits on the field and gets you value, I suppose, because that 7 booty, I assume, is pretty hard to get over. Scavacole, so this is the evolution of that one. So it's a 2 mana, 5/4. When you ascend into the Scavacole, you can expend 1 fire, search your deck for up to 2 cards with enchantment cost 1 or 2, 1 or 2 fire, add them to your hand. I mean, it's a consistency piece. Basically, it lets you get 2 different cards from your deck to your hand. Seems pretty strong, but again, you need to be able to ascend into it. So you need something living on the field. You get this out. Kind of just has average stats that like are contested by a 1-drop, which is a little sad. I mean, even though that the card that it comes from, the Rumacole, does get you the field spell. So theoretically, if you have the field spell out, this is a 7/6, which is a lot better. Honestly, it's probably going to live some hits then. Consistency piece, I could see it being decent. Bronto Wisp. Okay, so this is the evolution of the Tiny Wisp. It's a 1 fire, 1 lunar, 6/5. You can disenchant a fire from your Fung Guide in order to target and destroy a rune. When an Elestral on your field is destroyed in battle, you can expend fire in order to special cast a Fung Guide from your underworld. So this deck basically revolves around the tiny 1/1 and getting it out on your field a bunch. I don't think that's too good. I don't think just relying on that 1/1, getting it on the field multiple times, destroying it to destroy a rune, but then you rely on having other Elestrals be destroyed in battle. So I mean, that's why they definitely have the other card that gives cards taunt, because you don't want them killing your Brontowisp. But if you have Brontowisp, they're just going to use a rune to get rid of it. So I don't know. I don't think it's that strong. These were all Elestrals, right? Yes, they're all Elestrals. Pack number 2. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Alright. P-Gleam. Oh, okay, so it's the solar version of P-Gust. P-Gust was pretty good, so let's see if the solar is any good. So 1 mana, 1/2. When P-Gleam receives 1 or more solar, target an Elestral and set its base attack to 0 until the end phase. So it is technically also removal, but for an Elestral, I'm not sure how good it is though. I don't think it's any good, because while you can get rid of something that's threatening, it immediately dies to anything your opponent summons. Because I mean, like, at the very least, P-Gust, it's small, so your opponent doesn't want to use a counter rune on it, and it gets rid of a counter for free. But P-Gleam, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of the same, but I just don't think it's worth it. I don't know why something in my brain is just not liking the effect. It's probably because there are so many counter runes that just make sure that their stuff can survive, because it gets their attack to 0 until the end phase. But if your opponent tsunamis, then bam, P-Gleaming is in defense, can't get rid of the thing it was trying to get rid of. Lumaru. So this is the small version of the big guy. It's a 5/2 for 1, so I mean, good stats at least. When Lumaru destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, that opponent must send the top 3 cards of their deck to the underworld. See, this is an actual, like, good mill card. Like, because, like, the stats are good. Stats are good. If it can run over something with, like, 4 attack, 3 attack, you basically just mill top 3 cards of their deck to the grave. That seems decent. Good stats. You've been talking to nobody. Listen, Carboy. I don't mind. Like, listen, there are people hanging out. There are people in, like, the background with the stream on. I don't really mind. But most of this is for me. Like, the reason why I stream is for me. I want to know what these cards do. I want to like, use my card knowledge to see if they're good to me. And I've been kind of, like, putting that into effect. I feel like for the most part, I've nailed a lot of them. So I mean, if you do ever want to go back and see how I felt about a lot of the cards, you can. Soul Bell. 1 mana, 1/4. While you foretell, you may special ascend the Soul Bell to a foretold soul stocks. Your Apollo's effects that foretell cards reveal an additional 2 cards. I think Apollo foretells 3. So you use Apollo, foretell 3, this lets you foretell 5, and if you find a Soul Stocks, you can make this ascend. How likely is that? If you're running 3 Soul Stocks, 3 Soul Stocks out of a 40-card deck, but you draw 5 cards, so you have a 35-card deck. What's 35 divided by 3? That's like 10... It's like a 12% chance to see that. Alright, 12% is pretty decent. I mean, I saw a Soul Stock somewhere. I think it had a pretty decent effect. So, Soul Bell into Soul Stock's pretty likely. Calfmel, we're going to see that in the starting deck, but let's see what a preview of it. 1 mana, 3/4. When you send Calfmel or it is destroyed, you can return 3 in any combination of Solar Lunar from your Underworld or your Spirit deck. Okay, so if you use Kaufmel to ascend into something, you immediately heal yourself. Decent. I mean, yeah, and it doesn't even have to ascend into anything specific. So if Kaufmel manages to live, you get something else on top of it, and you get to heal yourself. But just kind of like, doesn't really do anything on its own. It needs to survive in order to even do its effect. Corvishine. 1 mana, 2/4. When Corvishine receives 1 or more solar, you can foretell cards equal to the number of spirits enchanting it plus 1. So by default, it foretells 2. Then you may draw a card and put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So the way foretell works, just put Corvishine by itself on the field. You foretell 2, put whichever of the 2 you want on the top of your deck, draw that card, put another card that you don't need as much on the top of your deck. It's hand fixing. But I mean, it's a 2/4, so it probably dies to anything. If you can Nexus to it, it would be a lot better, but kind of requires you to have a lot of stuff on the field to make it work. And a cell, we already talked about it. I don't think it's that good. Costs way too much in order to get Phosphocell out, but I don't know what Phosphocell actually does, so a little hard to evaluate. 1 mana, 2/3. This Fulgaris gets +2 attack for each Thunder Enchanted rune on your field. Not good. Because at the very least, you need like a Zeus on it, you need like a Mount Olympus, and that just kind of like... If you have a Mount Olympus, it's alright because it becomes a 5/3. It's decent. But I just don't like cards that require you to have stuff already on the board. Because if you draw this late game, you don't have anything on the board, it's a 1 mana 2/3. Doesn't do much. Javalucan. Javalucan? That's the only way I can pronounce it in my head. 2 mana, 6/4. When Javalucan destroys an opponent's attack position Elestral in battle, that opponent must expend 3. It's another burn card. Decent stats. But you absolutely need you need whatever they have to be an attack. I mean, that's pretty decently often. You can change battle positions and stuff. I'd say you could get this effect off a lot of the time, but I don't know. I think this card is pretty mid, honestly. Unless you have a deck that can easily like cheat it out, and then you could just immediately attack them when they're not expecting it. Expend 3, that could be pretty decent. Cyclovenom. 2 mana, 6/2. When Cyclovenom destroys an Elestral in battle, you can special cast a Toxiswarm from your hand or deck. I don't think I've seen a Toxiswarm. Because Toxiswarm is the other version of a Toxion, right? It's like the wind version? I assume it's another burn card. Did I have any spells? I think this was all Elestrals. Yes, this was all Elestrals. Good. Alright. Final pack of Daybreak. Then I'm going to open 2 starting decks. And then I'm just going to open the rest of the packs as a stream ender. Because I mean, my throat is kind of getting... So, gonna try and get through this as best as I can. And I'll probably just upload a video or a short of me actually building a deck from this. P-Gleam, already been over this. I think it's a pretty mid card just because they can negate its effect a lot of the time. Lumaru, decent stats. Mills, I think is very playable in Solar. Soul Bell, according to Cartboy, really good, pretty decent effect. You can get it to Soul Stocks pretty decently I was about to say pretty decently all the time. That doesn't make sense. You get it a lot of the time. Kaufmel doesn't do anything unless you actually ascend, so you need it to live a turn. Corvishine, average unless it has a lot of solar on it, and then it's hand fixing. Humburst, trash. I mean, I don't think Mill is good. Yeah, no, the more I look at this card, the more I'm just like, it's not great. What pulls did I get in the last hour? I'm not sure if I got anything crazy, I mean, I can go through the shiny pile, which was mostly from like the Shattered Stars, but as from like the cards themselves, I don't think I've gotten anything really crazy. Ooh, that's a shiny Flurry. Whoa. So I think, because in the past hour, like I opened one of the starting decks, and I mean, you know me, it actually took a great amount of time to get through that starting deck. So let's put all of those over here. I can go through the shiny pile, because I mean, I got the Toxeon, I got Aerolith, I got 2 Posthumous, I think you saw the first one, Circle the Sky, and then I actually did get, I got 2 of the special art from Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus did so good, it looks so pretty. If I play a Thunder deck, I'm definitely playing 2 of these, just because, oh my god, the art is so good. Ah! Ah! I don't know what it is. It just calls to me. It sings to me. All right, let's open... What am I thinking? Let's open the Pharaohgeist deck. Comes with a solar die, you know, pretty good. I still think the Frost die was probably like the best looking one. Whoop. Yeah, no, I don't think I opened anything like too crazy. Or at least if I did, I was not paying attention, which, oops, that's my bad. Alright, so let's see. Pharaohgeist. It's a 3 mana, 9/13, so decent stats. Pharaohgeist cannot be destroyed in battle, okay, so some protection. Cannot be returned to hand by opponent's card effects, so it's protection from shield. Opponents must also expend 1 in order to cast cards. Okay, so it's kind of like, what's that Yu-Gi-Oh card? Chain Energy? Basically makes them spend in order to actually cast anything. Which, I mean, it can add up, but you definitely need something to protect Pharaohgeist, and it's only protected from battle. So odds are they're just going to use a rune to get rid of it. Calfmel, we already discussed, pretty useless unless it can survive a turn, then it ascends, and it's actually pretty good. Pharamel, when it declares an attack, when an opponent's Elestral declares an attack, you can expend to negate and special ascend into Pharaohgeist. Just super telegraphed. I think it's pretty mid, honestly, because your opponent knows it's coming. They know it's coming, so why would they not just like play around it and just get rid of it with another like rune? Jatara! 1 mana, 2/4. You can Nexus a Solar. Okay, decent. When you do, you can return up to 2 Solar from your Underworld to your Spirit deck. Oh, okay, so this is the Frost Pup, but for Solar. I'm pretty sure it's like the exact effect of the Frost Pup, except its stats are reversed, which is definitely worse. Or is it better? I'm not sure if it's better to have 4 attack or 4 defense, honestly, because either way, you're losing to a 5. But, at the very least, if it's a 4, you won't be losing anything if they have multiple spirits on the field. It's alright. Lumaru, decent stats. Probably play it in any solar deck. P-Gleam, not great. Soul Bell. Soul Stalks. Okay, let's remind myself what it actually does. 2 mana, 4/7, so it just stays in defense. When you special cast Soul Stalks, you can enchant 2 from your Underworld to your field. Oh, okay. So you have Soul Bell out on the field. You have Helios out on the field. Foretell 5. Get Soul Stalks. Soul Stalks goes onto Soul Bell. Enchant 2 from your Underworld back onto your Helios. Not Helios, Apollo, sorry. You can disenchant 1 from your Apollo to target and destroy a card. I mean, that's a pretty good in-engine way to just start doing stuff. I like that. I like that. That can hit pretty decently often. Corvashine, hand fixing. I don't think it's that good. Plucky. It's a 1 mana, 1/4. When you normal cast Plucky, search your deck for a divine rune, add it to your hand. Okay, so if you're playing any sort of a divine deck, you would probably have this in just to find your divine way more frequently. Pretty decent. Only 2 of them, though. We already saw this card. It's a 4/1 that searches the Golden Fleece. Don't know what the Golden Fleece does, but it has to be crazy because 4/1 is not the best stats. It can be run over by Mudlet, it can be run over by Eddie, it can be killed by any number of stuff, even like 4 attack. It just dies to a Loomer, which is so sad. So Golden Fleece kind of has to be absolutely crazy for Cryo Maul to even be playable, and I don't even think that. Pandolence. Okay. 1 mana 4/1. You can disenchant Lunar from Pandolence in order to return a counter rune from your underworld to your rune face down. I mean, hey, that's another Gorgon's Gaze. Get yourself some more of the gaze in your life. Yeah, no, it's alright. Especially like when more powerful counter runes come out, I can see this card being played more and more. Specteris. 1 mana 4/2. Specteris gets +1 for each suppressed Elestral on the field. When Specteris enters battle with an Elestral, you can suppress that Elestral until the end phase. Okay, so I was about to say, like, it's not even a 5/2, but when it attacks, it suppresses something, it becomes a 5/2. Can normally get over stuff, and when an Elestral is suppressed, they can't activate their graveyard effects if they're killed. So pretty good effect. Plus, if you manage to use, what was the card? Mist? Lunar Mist? No, what was it? It's the card that suppresses your entire opponent's field. This can get up to, like, pretty big numbers. It only gives me 1, though. Only 1 Specteris? Why? Okay, then we got Ambrosia. Honestly, I really like the new Ambrosia more. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but for some reason, see, like, I'll show you. For some reason, the new Ambrosia that has like the invoke on the side just looks better to me than the old one. I don't know what it is. Maybe my brain just go hoo hoo hee hee extra stuff on card. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's my brain just telling me there's extra stuff. So play it. And we got Apollo. So it's the Divine Rune. You can cast Apollo, you can enchant up to 3 to it, so it comes in with 4. You can disenchant 1, foretell 3, add up to 1 Elestral foretold this way to your hand. Oh, okay. So it's an even better engine than I thought, because you have the Soul Bell, foretell 5, add any solar to your hand. Odds are it finds the soul stalks, it ascends, you get to give more to your Apollo, you get to pop stuff. You know what? That's a very good in-engine stuff to do for solar. Temple of the Sun, +1/+1 to solars. First Light. Invoke Rune. Search your deck for a solar Elestral and put it on top of your deck. Is this... So, question, Cartboy. When it says search your deck for a solar Elestral, is that any solar Elestral, or is it specifically a 1-cost solar Elestral? Because if it's any solar Elestral, that's a lot better, because you can literally just put soul stalks to the top of your deck and then foretell it, but I don't think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's literally just saying like a 1-cost solar. I'm pretty sure it is, so that's... I mean, it could still find you a great majority of stuff in your deck to get to, so still a pretty decent card. Ah, here it is. Here's the Fleece. So it's a 2-mana artifact. Empowered Elestral gets +2 defense. Okay, so it doesn't even get attack. If the Empowered Elestral would be destroyed in battle or by opponent's card effect, you may destroy Golden Fleece instead. Okay, so it's protection against your stuff. Plus, it gives them extra booty, I suppose, which doesn't really seem too relevant. You can use it to keep stuff around. So, I mean, it can be added onto Pharaoh Guys to make it super big, make it super tanky. It can basically make sure that it lives by a lot. That way it can burn your opponent. But not... I don't think it's relevant enough to do anything. So that's Artifact, that's a new pile. Argo. So it's a 2-cost. Argo can only be cast after an Elestral declares an attack. Cast an artifact rune from your hand or deck. Okay. So this definitely makes a lot of the artifacts way more playable. just by virtue of existing. So, I mean, even Golden Fleece, I mean, I don't think Golden Fleece is that good, but it can still protect your Elestral. It's going to cost you 4 to protect your Elestral, which is... that's a steep price. But even, like, some of the other artifacts, they're pretty decent. Plus, it lets you win in battle. Maybe it lets you, like, do some of the other effects. I think Argo is a pretty decent card. I really wish they gave me more than one of it, though. Do I not have... Is there not... Okay, well, the trap pile. And then it gave me more Shield of Achilles. Ooh, Poison Tipped Arrow. This is actually a really good counter card. So, Poison Tipped Arrow can only be cast when an opponent casts an Elestral, so you have to play it when something is cast. Target it, give it -2 attack until the end phase, so most of the time they won't be able to run over your stuff. During the turn's end phase, you can expend spirits equal to the enchantment cost and destroy it. So it's like a slow burning trap hole. It's removal, it definitely lets you get rid of stuff. Plus the -2 attack, it is sometimes relevant. It'll let you actually have stuff live. So I mean, that's a really good card. Definitely going to bop. It's going to be in the main deck for sure. Altar of Stars. They have so many Altar of Stars. Oh, actually, this is the trap that I think Cartboy was talking about. It's a 1-mana counter trap. Nexus 1. If you do, change the position of an Elestral. Okay, so this is enemy controller. Basically make sure that an opponent, that either you can run over something, or something is changed to defense and can't run over yours. Make sure your stuff survives. So I think that's pretty good. Dense Fog, that's what it was. That's what it... Hold on, did I put Dense Fog into the maybe pile? Did I put Dense Fog into the for sure pile? I mean, these are definitely, like, the way stronger cards. Okay, yeah, I did have one. Because Dense Fog, just being able to get rid of all of your opponent's effects at once, it's pretty good. It is a trap card, so you have to set it down beforehand, but still really good. Alright, then we got the Luminapes. What else do we got? We got the Owloons, and I'm pretty sure it's just those two. Okay. Into the giant spirit pile. You know what? This is looking... We got some options. We have quite a lot of options. That's an artifact. This is a divine. It is a little sad that we only have 2 of each divine, but, I mean, if we play the, what's it called? The Elechick? Was that the card I'm thinking of correctly? Elechick lets you search any of the divine runes. Achilles, these are the trap cards. We got the stadiums. We also have like a decent amount of stadiums as well. Okay. That one's all done. Let's move on to Chronodial. Not to be confused with Totodile, even though I do love Totodile. Totodile is my boy. But this one is Time. Time and or Solar Water. Whew. Alright, Chronodial. It's 2 water and a solar, 8/14. You can disenchant water from Chronodial to target and destroy a card. Okay, so just once per turn removal. That's pretty decent already. While you have at least 6 enchanting solar or water to Chronodial, it can't be targeted by opponent's card's effects. Honestly, pretty good. If you're able to cheat Chronodial out and then somehow just Nexus to it a bunch, make it untargetable, make it just a huge beast on the field, popping cards every turn, I could see this being annoying to get rid of. Actually, Chronodial might be the type of deck that I do try and make. So Sundial. It's a 1-mana 2/1, so paltry stats. You can expend 1 in order to enchant water to your field. During your end phase, you can special ascend Sundial into Nomadial from your hand or deck if it's water enchanted. Okay, so play it out with a solar, get rid of a solar, enchant it with a water, end phase, it turns into Nomadial. Nomadial, it's a 5/6, so pretty decent stats. You can expend Water Solar to enchant Water Solar from your Underworld to your field, special ascend Nomadial to Chronodial from your hand or deck. can you... I mean, my question still stands. If you can do both of these for the same runes, like expend solar water, use that same solar water to enchant, and ascend this to Chronodile, that could be a pretty dang good swing. Because even then it has... It would have 2... It would have 4 on it. So you only have to Nexus 2 in order to make it invulnerable to stuff. Well, it's better than I thought. Plucky is a way to get divine runes out. Foamy! It's the one that, when it's destroyed, you get a 1 spirit, or 1 water onto the field for free. So, just make sure to replace itself. Mystic Tomato Ass. Tadpuff. 1 mana, 1/1, so bad stats. Tadpuff can be special cast from your hand in attack position with water if you also expend. Oh, okay. So, I mean, this basically lets you cheat out a bunch of 2-cost Elestrals. I mean, technically they would cost 3, because you need to spend 2 to play Tadpuff out on the field. But since it's a special cast, you could then enchant it again, throw a 2-cost on it, and then BAM! You have some power on your field. So Tadpuff basically just allows you to rush out into bigger stuff. I like that. Galaxy, switches stats, decent sized body on the field. Pharos, Nexus 2, draw 2, decent, but you need some stuff on the field beforehand. Dratagua, heals when you get it out on the field. Edward, my boy, the best. I love him. Just pure good removal. I love me some good removal. Curubis, so if I manage to play Rock in a Hard Place, I can special ascend Eddie into this from the deck. So it's a 2 mana 9/2, so pretty attack heavy. Also dies to Eddie, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Curubis definitely dies to Eddie himself, which is hilarious. You can disenchant 2 water from your field, destroy a card. If it's destroyed this way, return spirit from your underworld to your spirit deck up to the number of spirits that were enchanting that card. Okay, so it's kind of like if you have a Poseidon out on the field, disenchant 2, pop something. If that had any enchantments on it, return those things that you used to even the 2 that you used to disenchant, return them to your spirit deck. Decent. Some recursion as well. Only 1 though. I mean, maybe you play 1. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. Maybe you play 1 since you're playing 3 Eddie. Portucide, it's basically just tries to make sure your opponent doesn't attack it. Not worth it though. Nectar of the Gods, Sun and Ambrosia. We got the rest of our playset of Poseidon. Maybe I should play like a Water Lightning deck, because it seems like that's definitely like the majority of what I've gotten. Well, I mean, definitely because of the starting decks, we've gotten a lot of Lightning cards, we've gotten a lot of Water cards. But even with like the Shattered Stars, it seems like we've gotten a lot of like good Lightning cards as well. Trying to Poseidon with Argo, it's definitely better. Plus, they can't be targeted by counter runes, which is the way they're going to deal with most of your stuff anyways, but can still be destroyed by Elestral effects. When Poseidon is enchanted, your opponent cannot cast counter runes. Not being able to cast them is pretty good, so I mean, maybe like a water deck with Argo, Trident to Poseidon. Let's see, we got the full playset of Atlantis. Rock in a Hard Place. Okay, so this is the one that Eddie requires. It's a water and a lunar. It's a invoke. Rock and Hard Place cannot be chained by counter runes, so it can't be negated. Target a rune and an Elestral in an opponent's field. The opponent destroys one of them. Okay, I mean that's pretty good. Especially, I mean it's a type of removal. Sure, your opponent is going to get rid of like the lesser one that they can deal with not having, but I mean that does seem just like a decent way to get rid of stuff. In like a deck that you might not be able to. Another Argo. Okay, that's good. Gorgon's Gaze. This is the important one. This is the most powerful counter rune in the entire game. So, it's a trap card. 2, target an Elestral. If its effect is on the chain, negate it. So this just gets rid of any effect that might be troublesome. Until the end phase, that Elestral is suppressed and it cannot receive enchantments, attack, nexus, or ascend. So, actually, now that I think about it, that actually stops like the Tadpuff line as well. Because the whole thing with Tadpuff that I was talking about, you literally pay 2, special summon it out. If your opponent sees you special summon it out, bam, Gorgon's Gaze, you cannot ascend this Tadpuff into anything. It's just sitting there. It's a 1/1 from now on. So, even if your opponent has like an on-field effect, so like they summon Eddie, Eddie tries to change something into attack position or defense position, Gorgon's Gaze prevents it, and then for the rest of the turn, Eddie can't activate its effects. So if you cast a Rock and Hard Place, doesn't ascend at all. So, Gorgon's Gaze, cracked card, 3 of in every deck. Altar of Stars, Counter Rune, Nexus 1, change the position of Elestral, really good. Tsunami, also really good, but a lot of people play around it. It's a Counter Rune, counter. That's a Stadium, Invoke, Artifact. I don't have Counter Rune slot. Okay, I'll just put those over there. And then we also got more Waters. A ton more Waters, ton more Luminapes, and a couple of Owloons. I like how it just gives us 2 Owloons specifically for the Rock and Hard Place. That's so funny. Okay, let's put these over to the side. Invoke. Divine Runes. We do have a playset of Poseidon. Whoa. The Chronodile Core. Atlantis counter. Oh no, that's Tsunami as a counter spell. Okay. So, last bit. Last bit. We got 4 Daybreak, and we got 6 Shattered Stars left. I'd say we open the Shattered Stars, see if we can pull something crazy or any more of the shiny cards. So, I mean, I do love that Toxie art. If I can get another one of that, I will be satisfied. And then hopefully we can high roll with the Daybreak. And that'll be the end of the stream. Whew. Maybe I'll stream like for like an hour or 2 sometime later this week just to like make a deck, because I do want to start participating in the Tuesday rounds. I think my eventual goal, especially for this channel, well, I mean, not channel, but stream, I do want to try and get on the Elestrals. Of course, in order to do that, I need to be good at the game. So, first things first, read all the cards, understand the material, watch a bunch of gameplay, and with the online client coming out, that's going to be way easier to do. Not impossible. But I do want to join one of those big name tournaments. I want to get in there, I want to get some prizes, I want to make sure I beat some people's faces in. I'm looking at you, MBT. I see you, white man. I see you and your Yu-Gi-Oh plays. Alright, let's see. Let's see what the enchantment is. Helios' Chariot Ride. Okay, so I mean, it's basically like the Cold Wave. It's a pretty decent card. Got the Lycoris. Alright, next one. I have so many, like, bits. The number of packs that I've opened, and I just have, like, a ton of, like, the scrap off to the side. It's so funny. Alright. Nekruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo, Gloombat. We got another shiny Trifernal, so if we did want to make a solo Trifernal deck, we totally can now that we have 2 of them. And Illuminate. Alright. Let's do another. I'm not even sure like what I'm really looking for in the last set of Shattered Stars. I just like the shinies. I genuinely do just like the shinies. So, Nekruff, Blazerus, Twindra, Pulsar, Nebuleo. Whoa! Poison Nectar. Oh, this is a new one. So it's a counter rune, 1 cost. Poison Nectar can only be cast when an opponent activates a card effect that draws a card. Negate the effect, destroy the card. This is really situational. I feel like you would have this in the side deck to just kind of like get rid of some problematic cards that just so happen to also draw cards. But I feel like for the most part, it's probably just not worth playing generally. I'll put that in the maybe. Another Lycoris. Alright, where? Oh, they're in front of me. Oh my god, I can't believe that's the second time I've done that. I was like, where did I put the cards? Where did I put the cardboard? Alright, what? Bloom bats. All set. Ton of common cards. What? Alright. Let's see if we can pull another Toxeon Stellar. Not Stellar, but Constellation. I keep saying Stellar when I mean Constellation, but whatever. You know what I mean. Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse. I really want a shiny Larvacell. I don't know why I want a Larvacell specifically, but I haven't got one. I've gotten one of all the others. Another Galvenom. Oh shit, we got the third Mount Olympus. We got the playset. We got the playset of the shiny art. So if I ever do want to play a focus with Mount Olympus, we got that. We got that on lock. Alright, whoop. Let's move all the cards down. Card open. Alright, let's see. What? So, Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, Titanostrike. I only have one more shard at the shiny Larvacell. He's a cute boy. He reminds me of Wormmon from Digimon, who is the best. So, I mean, if I don't get a shiny Larvacell, I'm going to be very sad. Ah, fourth copy of Mount Olympus. You know, they can't all be winners, but I do absolutely love that art. Alright, last one. Last chance. Last chance at something crazy. I do kind of want another Acolights. If I could ask for any of the shinies for this to be, it would be the Acolights, just because it's a good catch-up card. Whoa. I think most of the Lith cards are pretty playable, pretty accessible. Whoa. I cut that wrong. Did not cut any cards, though. That's good. Okay, so Galvenom, Funglow, Platypulse, Larvacell, please, shiny Wormmon. Give me a shiny Wormmon. Damn it! Fuck you, Platypulse. I hate you. Oh my god, another race to the top. Okay, so we have 3 Mount Olympuses. I know we definitely pulled a regular race to the top, so we can play Mount Olympus, we can play race to the top, definitely have some removal in our deck at the very least. I'm kind of leaning towards a Thunder Water deck, just because we definitely have the most for those. I'm not sure if Zeus is good enough to play, but Poseidon seems pretty decent, even though he's just Nexuses. Alright. Last bit of the day. I'd say we open the Chronodile pack last, just because it's the only one we got of them. Let's open these. I think this is Toxeon's Ascension? I kind of forgot what it's called. Alright. What? Pack 1. Let's see. Okay. So P-Gleam, average. Bloomer, decent stats. Soul Bell, decent. Calfmel, eh. Corvishine, eh. Morfrost of Bat form. 1 mana, 1/1. When this Morfrost is discarded, you can special cast a Morfrost that's not Bat form from your Underworld. It's definitely like a graveyard heavy deck. You need a lot of cards to put Morfrosts in the grave, but I mean, you can cheat out Morfrost from your grave, so that's interesting. Not sure how good the total is. Oh, and this is what Polzor looks like normally. Oh, so this is... Oh, okay. Polzor is actually a lot worse than I thought it was, because it gets +1 for each Frost Elestral in your Underworld. So you pretty much only play that if you're playing like a Morfrost deck, where like you just send a ton of them to the graveyard immediately. Ooh, Bow of Apollo. It's an artifact for 1, that's decent. The Empowered Elestral can attack opponent's spirit decks directly. Okay, so it basically just bypasses all of the monsters on the field. When Apollo is enchanted and the Empowered Elestral deals damage to an opponent, you can return Solar from your Underworld to your spirit deck. Okay, so I mean, this is a pretty decent card. If you have Apollo on the field, have Bow of Apollo, it immediately pays for itself back if you attack face, because then you attack them, they have to expend based on how many spirits your Elestral has, and then you immediately recover the one it costed to play Bow of Apollo. You know what, that's a decent, that's probably like the first, I mean, there are a couple of decent artifacts, but that's one that has, like, decent potential to just swing for a ton of damage all of a sudden. Cyclovenom, it basically just lets me special cast a Toxic Swarm, which I don't think I've actually pulled any. Another Flurmine. Alright, what? Let's go with another. Let's see what we got. Open. What? Okay. Rumacole. Humbust. Hummabust. Eddie, I mean, we already have them. Different art, Larvacell. Oh, he's adorable. I really wish I got the shiny version. Just because Larvacell's so cute. Verituka. A 1 air, 3/1. When this attacking Verituka enters battle with an attack Elestral that has equal or fewer enchanting spirits, suppress Elestral and destroy it. If you do, Verituka deals no damage this battle. That's a pretty dang strong effect. It can basically just, if any one cost is on the field, Verituka immediately just gets rid of it if it's an attack. It doesn't matter if it's a 3/1 because it just gets rid of whatever it needs to. Pretty good. I would probably play it with that, with like the Nexus Star card. What is it? Altar of the Stars. Yeah, I would definitely play it with Altar of the Stars because this Nexus is 1, and then you can change the position of an Elestral. So literally, you can have Verituka. You can even get rid of something with 2 spirits if you have that. Because Verituka comes down, Altar of the Stars, put something on Verituka. If their 2 cost is in defense, change it to attack. Verituka swings, bam, gets rid of that. Seems like a pretty decent card. Fulgaris, don't like it, doesn't seem too good. Javalucan, so that's what evolves from Verituka. And I mean, they both rely on something being in attack position. Another Morfrost. Ooh, and we got a shiny Zaptor. Look at this. Look at this man's. Look at this man's. Put you over there. Cryspore. 2 Earth, 7/5. Expend 2. Targeting opponent's Elestral, suppress it, and destroy it. So it's Earthquake on legs? I mean, I assume most Earth decks would probably play, like, 1 copy of this. Just because, like, I assume they would rather play something else. But having more copies of Earthquake, not too bad. But you do have to play this on top of something, which is, like, the huge downside. Pretty sure these are all Elestrals. Just gotta like double check. Yes, all Elestrals. Gotta make sure I'm keeping the piles consistent. I will say though, opening the packs from like oldest to newest definitely feels like the packs themselves have gotten way easier to access, which like I like. Let's see, Soul Bell, Cafmel, Corpshan, Lucky. Pandolence. I do love me some Pandolence. I think we'd only have like 1 or 2 copies, but that's decent. Fulgaris, don't like. Javalucan, Morfrost. Ooh, another Chronodile. So if we do need 2, we got 2. And a Zaptor. Which I'm not even sure how many Chronodile you would play in the deck. Maybe you do just play the 1? I don't know. For 3 cost spirits, it's kind of weird because I don't know how many you would play in a deck. I assume only 1 or 2. Just because it's pretty decently hard to like get to them. Okay, last pack of the night, and then we're calling it Acolights. Let's hope for big money, no whammies. We got Mudlet, Removal, Boltuga, Burn, Barabib, Fungi, not great. Rumacole, fetches the Arena. Morfrost, we got a playset of that Morfrost bat form. Polzer, we got a ton of those. A second Bow of Apollo. Coastalith. I'm pretty sure this is like the Lith that no one plays. Coastalith can be normal cast with 2 water if an opponent has at least 2 Elestrals in defense position. When you cast Coastalith, you can special cast a 1 spirit from your hand. Yeah, no, I think that just requires too much to actually have on the board in order to set up. Well, I mean, honestly, this has been like a pretty good, just because, let's see, even if I just count these, probably do a water deck with a couple of lunar, water thunder deck with a couple of lunar in it. Shield of Achilles, obviously, like the one earthquake. We've got the 3 ambrosia. Yeah, I think that could work. Just play like, I'm not even sure if I would play Dense Fog in the main deck. Maybe just like a side deck option and have some lunars. What? Because I mean, we did have those Spectaris, and Spectaris is a pretty good card. We had Argos to fetch like enchantments, Rock in a Hard Place to evolve our Eddy into Curibus right away if we want to. And luckily we did get like 2 Ultra Stars. So I feel like that's a good card at 2, maybe not 3 per se. Sorlet, He-Gust, Elichick. Elichick searches for the Divine Room, so if we don't have Plucky, we can use Elichick. Yeah, no. I'll have to tank it, really think about what we got, because we got a decent amount of just stuff. Because we got a bunch of counter runes. What? We got a ton of artifacts after. Whoop. So these are the cards I definitely want to play, so let's... Top 2. These are the maybes. Alright, so we have a ton of Elestrals. I have to sort through a lot of these guys. Let's look at, whew, big pile of cards right there. That's not even all of them. I mean, obviously the game is called Elestrals. The monsters are definitely the most important part. I'll have to sort through them, see what I got. And I got the field spells, spell cards, and finally, I think we got pretty good on the Divine Runes, because we have 3 Poseidon, 2 Apollo, 2 Keon, technically 4 Poseidon, and 2 Zeus. I think we're only missing, like, the Fire one, which I don't think many people play. We're missing Demeter, who is a pretty damn good Divine Rune, so I might just, like, pick her up later on. And Aeolus. Aeolus is a really good, like, search card for wind. What? Honestly, I'll have to take a look at this. I'll have to spend some time thinking about what to build and actually start like, dredging my hand in. I'm definitely leaning towards water, thunder, and maybe a little bit of lunar. Yeah. I guess I'll have to see. How the things end up. But alright, guys. Hey, it's pretty late. Unfortunately, I do have work tomorrow, so I can't build the deck on stream as much as I do want to. Maybe I'll just release a short later on of my thought process going behind it. Alright, guys. Hey, I hope you've had a good stream. I hope you've had a good time. And as always, do your best to be kind, right? Alright, have a good night. Have a good day. And I'll talk to you later. See ya. And I mean, hey, as well as when Moonrise comes out, I'm probably going to get a couple of boxes of it, so I'm going to do another opening stream here sometime soon, alright? I gotta get that streamer luck sometime. Alright, talk to you guys later. See ya.